everyone, it's Teddy, aka JamesKisau on MTGO, coming back for a pretty special video this week. Now, longtime viewers of the channel know that I don't play a ton of Limited. It's pretty much limited to Vintage Cube every once in a while, and there are a ton of different skills and abilities that separate Limited from Constructed. And today we're going to dive a little deeper into what makes Limited so deep and intense. And to help me out, I've brought a friend. This is Jake from TheLimitedLab. I'll link the channel down in the description. It's a very good in-depth channel for all things Limited, mostly focused on the current Limited format. So say hello, Jake.
Yeah, thanks, Teddy. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Nice. It's so awesome to be on the channel. When I first looked through your channel, Teddy, I saw that you just had what seemed, at least to me from the outside looking in, I'm not a constructed player, right? And especially not in some of the older formats, but a pretty rigorous approach, I would say, to, or maybe academic, maybe slightly academic approach is the right way to think about it. I don't know if that's how you would describe yourself, but that was something that I noticed when I saw your channel and I resonated with, because I take a little bit more of what you could call like I don't know if you want to just call it nerdy or academic approach to trying to get better at Limited. So that resonated with me big time. Like I think when at least the time when I was checking in with you, you were going through like all of the different iterations of things that could fill a specific slot, you know, and like very methodically going through that. I thought that was pretty sweet.
Oh, you must be talking about the my 4-drop tier list video that I've not followed up on that series, but people really seem to enjoy it, so I should probably think about doing another one of those. Yeah, I would consider the channel fairly academic. I always treat everything as a learning experience since I make a lot of mistakes, and those are the best way to learn sometimes.
100%. Yeah. And I think that I did come in on a series. Yeah. I forget. It was like this week we're trying out this card instead of this card. And we were going through all the lists. And I thought that was, even as a Limited player, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. I thought it was cool because it was like, yeah, you're just trying to get data on what works and what doesn't work. Right. And for me, that was the biggest thing that really helped with my game. So just introducing myself a little bit. I started playing Magic right after college as a way to stay in touch with friends, but then I didn't really get into Limited until COVID hit. And I was pretty bad at it for a while, I think, as most people are when they start playing Limited. And then I started having a little bit of like local competitive success, you know, winning some Game Store championships and things like that. But really I went to Denver last year. I think now must have been summer last year for the Limited Spotlight there. And kind of had a crazy run where it was the first time I'd ever had any kind of competitive success. And I ended up going top 30 in that event. I think there were like 1,200 or 1,300 people in that event.
Yeah,
and was actually like
big events.
Yeah, it was kind of wild because I had never done anything competitive like that. And then I was actually even able to like upset a couple of pro players. Like I was able to upset Reed Duke and Christian Calcano and some of these really famous players that I actually didn't even know were famous until we played.
The calculator. And also my personal hero, Reed Duke.
Oh my gosh. And also names. Just the nicest guy, right? That like, he was so awesome. And like, I didn't know who he was. Literally my friend, it was so funny. My friend was literally like, oh man, like Reed Duke's here. And I was like, who's Reed Duke? And he's like, you're such an idiot. Like, why don't you want any pro Magic players? And then I was like, well, I hope I don't have to play that guy. And then it's like, rounds up. And I looked and my next pairing was Reed Duke. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, but it was like, I did really well in that event, top 30'd it. And actually I think I was 24 in that one. And I was like, wait a minute, am I like good at Magic? Like what's going on? And so then I started thinking about maybe taking it seriously, because I know anybody can have a lucky run, right? And I wanted to see like, could I actually, if I invested the time and the energy, could I actually like really level up to that next level of competitive success? And so then I dove in with the notebook, which I think I've talked about a little bit to you, but is a tool that I use to basically track all of my games and my decision points and the ways that I was losing games specifically, and tracked that data and started using that to inform the way that I was playing. And then I used it to prep for the Toronto Spotlight and was able to top 30 that Spotlight as well. So that was 2 back-to-back Spotlights, and I was feeling really good about the method. And that was really exciting to me. So after that happened, I decided to, you know, maybe some of my friends were asking about it and people wanted to hear about what it was, how I was changing the approach to practicing it. Because I think that one of the things that's really different between Limited and Constructed, I know that in both, you're always managing chance, right? Because Magic has a lot of variance involved. But in limited, you're it's like that's on steroids, like you're really just like there's so many things that are changing all the time and so many levels of variance that what you're really trying to do is figure out how to navigate that in a way where you're the least punished the least amount of the time. And I thought that that was a pretty cool thing to be able to break down using actual data for my games, because before that it was just kind of like, well, how do you get better at Magic? And it's you play like 1,000 games and hope that you learn something. So having a little bit of a structured approach was really great for me, and it's been really helpful for some of the folks that I've been working with since then, and I'm happy to be able to share it with you all today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of data, I understand there is a very scientific method to understanding these formats better. And before we jumped into the draft, I wanted to ask you what you thought of the superheroes format, and how is it compared to more recent successful draft formats. Like, I think people were pretty happy with the Lorwyn Eclipsed. Oh yeah, what format was it when you were?
So I was Dragons of Tarkir was in Denver.
Okay.
And that was one that I actually showed up to that one, and I hadn't played the set at all because I think it was like release weekend, right?
Yeah.
But then so then showed up to there, played like nonstop for 2 days. And then didn't touch the set after that because I was so burnt out on Magic. But then, it was Toronto was Lorwyn Eclipsed, and we just had superheroes in Vegas for team sealed. Yeah.
Was Edge of Eternals last year? Did you just was that? Because that was between
Edge of
Tarkir and Lorwyn, right?
Yeah, but I didn't go to any tournaments for that.
Okay,
so
got it.
I sort of I've sort of gotten the place where I'm at now is I know that I have, I've top 30, which is great, but I haven't broken into that like top 8, I'm like that one step below. And so for me, the thing that's gotten really exciting about Magic is figuring out how to try to play it in a competitive way and what I can do to make sure to get to that next level of competitive success, which is really all about just like winning every game you could possibly win and not losing any of them that you had the chance to win. But this set specifically, I liked it. Like I thought, I liked it a lot more than I was scared I was going to, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Totally.
I was a little worried that I was really going to hate it, and I have not hated it. I thought it's been pretty good. I think one of the things I really like about it a lot more than I've liked Secrets of Strixhaven is how much more open it is. Like when I was doing my review recently of some of the archetypes and thinking through what are the pieces that make certain archetypes work, I was realizing that a lot of the archetypes are actually sort of like monocolored with like an X next to it archetypes. Like for example, I think a good example of this one is the red ping to death archetype, where you have like the Hydra Assault Bot, which is the 1/3 that pings when an artifact or a villain enters. And then you build around that in such a way that you're just consistently getting these ping triggers, sometimes magnifying the ping triggers with the Hawkeye Girl, and while also applying pressure in different ways to end the game. Like that's sort of the archetype built around those cards. But you could do that in red-blue artifacts, or you could do that in black-red villains, right? There's like different ways that you can take that, or you can kind of meld them and find a middle ground. And so there's a lot more flexibility in this format in that way, which I really appreciate, because like Secrets of Strixhaven was one of those sets where if you're in black-white, you're in black-white, because the cards that you really needed are the cards that are best for that archetype were the black-white gold cards, and they kind of locked you into that 2-color pair. And so a lot of people were just getting into that format and getting stuck. I don't know if stuck is right. People were happy to do that. I don't personally enjoy that as much, but they were happy to be like, okay, I'm gonna take a good black-white card, pack one, pick one, and just stick with that the rest of the draft. Yeah. Versus kind of finding like a monocolored bone, like core of a deck, and then figuring out like which supporting color is the one that I actually want to use to try to like fill out the rest of the deck. And so for me, it's a lot more interesting in that way, because there's a lot of archetypes that were like that, whether you're talking about like blue flyers or even just like the black artifact equipment package, which you can fit into black white or black blue, or there's lots of flexibility, which to me is what makes it the most interesting, because you can really navigate the draft in a much more open way that allows you to benefit like people who are better at reading the signals of the draft and better at playing off of the other drafters in your pod do better in those sorts of formats, because you're not just on rails for the whole thing.
Mm.
um,
Like poker.
which I really like. Like poker?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
If you're, unless are you saying like you're kind of reading the other drafters in this scenario?
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. Have you played? Sorry, Teddy. Have you played a lot of limited? Do you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about reading signals from the other
No,
drafters in your pod?
no, not at all.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So this is sort of. I think this is something that actually this actually is good to talk about. A lot of people who play limited don't think about this,
Mm.
right? They're just thinking about like what are the cards that I'm picking up and how do I, um, like how am I building my deck from those cards? But one of the things that I think is really like that has really helped me, and one of the things I think is one of my strengths when I'm drafting, is reading the signals that you're getting from other players to figure out like, okay, if I'm getting past this card, that means that the people that are passing it to me aren't playing in this archetype, because if they were, they would have definitely taken this card, which means to me that maybe this thing is open, right? Or in the other way, sometimes I'll take a worse card in the pack just because it's in my core color, to like sort of cut off to tell the person next to me like, hey, like this color is not open, you should not be in this color, right? Because if I'm passing left and I cut black so that I don't pass a single good black card to the person on my left, they're probably not going to be in black, and so they're much more likely to pass me really good black cards whenever they're passing back to me in pack 2, right?
Yeah.
So
Turns out I do kind of know what you're talking about when I play Vintage
okay.
Cube and someone
Okay.
passes me like a Mox Pearl or something. That doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean white is not open or the opposite. Uh, but yeah, essentially like, oh, there must have been something that influenced their pick to not take this generically powerful card.
Right. Yeah. So that's a really good example. Or even if they pass you a Tolarian Academy, you're like, oh, they're probably not playing artifacts. Maybe artifacts is open, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
and in limited, it's usually a lot more subtle than that, because
Hmm.
Vintage Cube has so many more like A plus B combos, or like really like signpost things. In regular limited, sometimes it's just as simple as, oh, they passed like a B plus removal spell. That means they're not in that color, right? Or there's other signals that are a little bit more subtle than it is in Vintage Cube, but yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, to answer your question in a long way, I've liked that Marvel Superheroes has felt a little bit more flexible than some of the previous sets. Like even Lore and Eclipse, which I really liked, a little bit similar in the sense that once you got into like a type, right? Like once you got into elves or merfolk or whatever, people were just like jamming elves or merfolk. And actually, that was actually one of the reasons. One of my strategies for that whole format was just to not commit to any type unless it seemed like it was really open. Because I just knew that there was a good chance that I was going to be fighting 2 or 3 other people who also happened to take a good merfolk rare or a good elf rare. And that was actually what really helped me out in my my draft 2 in Toronto. Was I actually passed a bunch of good merfolk cards early and took just some generically good cards, and then it turned out that 3 other people in my pod were all fighting over merfolk, and so my deck, that was sort of a green soup deck, actually was way better than I actually won the pod. I went 3-0 because they all had mediocre decks fighting for the same pieces, as where I took the deck that was more flexible and open, and it just turned out to be the most powerful deck at the table because I wasn't fighting anybody, right? And so like I liked, like it's there, it can be a trap, some of these sets that tell you what to do can be traps, and you have to just navigate them kind of carefully.
I was noticing up in the top left corner over there, they have some uh, guide ideas for color pairings, and I was
Yeah.
wondering if you agreed with these.
I think I do agree with like every format. They always have these sorts of like, this is what this archetype's supposed to do, and this is what this archetype's supposed to do.
Right.
And I think I agree that you can find decks that do these things, but again, I actually would say you can have a red artifact deck that works and a blue artifact deck that works, and sometimes they go together, right? And I think like that's one of the big traps. Is there's an uncommon Iron Man, for example. I think it's an X4 flyer for 4 that gets bigger when you have more artifacts. And you might look at that and be like, okay, that's the signpost card for artifacts in this format. But I actually don't think it is. I think that card is a good card if you happen to be in a red-blue artifact deck. But actually, the 1/3 pinger is by far the most important card for the ping artifact strategy, right? Or you could be in a blue artifact deck that cares a lot about the preening champions, the shield deployment drones, the 3-mana 2/2s that make a 1/1 when they enter that are artifacts. And like that's probably just a blue flyers deck that maybe is red to get some artifact synergies, or maybe is white to sort of gum up the board on the ground so that you can get in with the evasion. But the thing you really care about is the blue flyers, right? So I think I care. I look at these sort of archetype descriptions as interesting of what they were sort of intending, and I think they're very helpful, especially for new players. But in a set like this, I think I'm a little bit less focused on the 2-color pairings and a little bit more focused on what are the things that you can do with a single color, and then how can you mesh those with other decks in a way that is that makes the whole greater than the sum of the parts. Yeah. Does that make sense?
And also, there's clearly a typo there. It says red-white non-creature spells. That can't be right.
You know, the red-white deck has. I think that this is always the case in these sorts of. Every time that there's a new set released, they always have 1 or 2 archetypes that I feel like they're just trying to find a thing to call it.
Okay.
You know, the red-white deck has not really seemed to exist to me. You know, we went to Team Sealed in Vegas, and we saw a lot of people playing splashing red or splashing white to play Monica Rambeau or the Civil War Saga, like these powerful bombs. But not very many people actually playing red-white, and when they were playing a lot of creatures. So I have not seen. I think that there's sort of a prowessy thing that is supposed to be happening, but that has not seemed to come together.
Commonly shows up on creatures, I believe.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you're not usually seen on a lightning bolt, for example. Yeah.
All right, well, I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right, so let's do it. And yeah, so Teddy, please, I'm happy to pilot, but I will ask you questions about I'm curious to hear your thoughts as we're going through, you know? So I'll ask you what you think the picks are, and we can sort of talk through it that way. But I'll just, in case we're running out of time and stuff, I'll just pick and choose for us as we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you played this format at all? Have you played Limited in this format a little bit yet, or no? Okay.
The last time I drafted Standard was M14.
Okay. Wow. Wait. M14 was the last time you drafted?
I think so.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Well, you've been in a different niche than me. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've played tons of Vintage, but I wouldn't say that has really prepared me either, since I usually force Storm or Doomsday. I understand forcing archetype is not a very valid strategy.
You know, people really disagree on that. I personally think it's way too risky.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm thinking about playing Limited, I'm always thinking about how I mitigate risk. Like, my number one enemy in Limited is not my opponent, it's variance.
Yes.
You know, and so I'm just trying to reduce variance at all costs. And one of it seems to me like a very risky move is going in with a preset notion of what you want to force, because if 2 other people at the table happen to have the same idea, you're really in trouble. You know.
Absolutely.
So that's never been my strategy. Okay, so do you know these cards enough to like say what stands out to you, or do you want me to walk through them?
I would say I recognize that green-white land. Oh, also I've seen Hawkeye's Bow, so that we could use that as like a pinging card, right?
Yeah. So when I look at this pack, there's a couple things that stand out to me. The first thing is obviously the Vision. The Vision is a fantastic rare if it survives. You know, it's a 4-drop colorless rare, can go in any deck. When you cast a non-creature spell, it gets double strike, or you draw a card, or it gets indestructible. So just very, very powerful card. I'm having to have a hard time not taking the Vision here.
It also has Vigilance, which is pretty good in Limited, I hear.
That's true. And flying, right? So the fact that it eats all of the flyers in the format is huge. But the other cards that I'm interested in, I think I'm going to take the Vision, but the cards that I'm interested in here, She-Hulk has just been fantastic. This is a very mid-rangey format, and so there's a lot of big chonkers. And the fact that this can power up and destroy an enchantment, it usually eats a removal spell. So it becomes a 5/5 for 6 that eats a web up or one of the other enchantment-based removal, and that's just such a blowout.
So we're not committing to a color yet. Another cool thing.
We definitely are not. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons I like this pick so much, is that we don't have to commit. So now when I'm looking at this pack, one of the things that I've been when I looked at my first 30 games of the format, and I logged my day in the first 30 games, I dropped a video about that. One of the things that stood out to me is how important removal is. And so I definitely am having an eye to try to get 6 or 7 or 8 removal spells. But I immediately look at Widow's Bite, and I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in Go Nuts, also because more removal is good with vision because it triggers it.
Right.
But Raft Security Officer is also just an insanely good card. It's a 2-mana creature that can block early and then tap things down. And I actually think I'm going to take the Security Officer here because it just lets you control the board in such a fantastic way.
And playing the board seems important for this format. You said
I would agree with that.
Good.
Yep. Well, and so now here, sticking with, I think that this is a good example of where I don't necessarily want to commit to an archetype, especially early. I want to stay really open. I want to be thinking about what are the cards I can take that are going to be the most likely to be in my deck and be good, and don't force me into a specific lane in case people aren't in that. So I'm looking at Cruel Alliance as one. Again, just probably one of the best, if not the best, removal spells in the format, especially because they can kill some of the non-zero number of indestructible creatures because it exiles. I'm also really interested in Helicarrier Strike because we just took Security Officer. Herbie is a great colorless card that when it enters, you draw a card and then you can ramp if you have a land in hand.
Yeah,
but I think I'm going to take
good.
Yeah, I've really liked Herbie a lot, and I kind of am interested in it. It fits with our theme, but I'm going to take the Cruel Alliance here, just prioritizing removal the way that I've been wanting to. Which, speaking of which, I don't. And this is actually a really good example of what we were just talking about with reading the signals, right? Oh yeah, and eliminating variants, right? The more we have of these, the more likely we're going to get them when we need it. But also, if I'm getting past a pick 4 Cruel Alliance and a Widow's Bite, to me that signals that black might be kind of open, right? Because this is a premium removal spell, and so this to me is a signal that I would take it anyway, even if it wasn't. But I want to take it, and I'm hoping that by taking it, I'm also signaling to the person next to me that black is not open.
And there's some more black cards.
Yeah. So yeah, what is your first thought when you see this pack?
I would say maybe diversify my curve a little bit. So I'm looking at the 1-drop to the far right, but I can also see what it does. Oh, so it's recursive. I don't know how important that is, honestly.
Yeah, in this format, I think these sorts of creatures, their value changes a lot depending on the format, right? And in this format, I haven't been insanely impressed by this creature. There also just aren't that many ways to sack it to get value out of it, which is a way that a lot of people use these sorts of cards in Limited.
Right.
I think I actually am going to take the Swordsman here. It's a card that cares about equipment. It's an equipment package. But the thing that's great about this card, and actually I love that we just saw this, because I was sort of cutting black I was getting black passed to me, I had this theory that the equipment package might be available to us. And the Ronin is another one here, where whenever you can pay life to cast equipment, and then you can sack an equipment to give something -4/-4.
Oh, that seems really good.
And the thing that's great about this card, and this is actually an example of the reason why I really like this format, is that this card plus the Scoundrel plus there's a couple of flash equipment that give your creatures indestructible, where you basically get a trick and then you have additional ways to get value out of those equipment later.
Yeah, are those equipment at common or rare, or are we gonna have a hard time? I see one actually right now on the far right there.
That's right. Here's an Vibranium Energy Daggers. This one I'm a little bit less stoked about because it is a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of ones that comment in black, and I would be happy to pick up 1 or 2 of, or maybe even 3 of over the course of the draft. I don't feel like we need to dive super hard on that.
Okay.
I'm just aware that this is a package that is a little bit available to us.
Gotcha.
And just because we're running out of time here, I think I actually am going to take the Bold Biochemist.
Oh.
I could see taking Viv, but this is just another card that if we end up in black-blue, this is a card that draws cards, stops the board early, right? Sort of gums up the board and then has advantage later. But look what we got past another one of.
Another. Wow.
Yeah, that seems like a signal to me, and I'm pretty happy to just keep existing in that lane. There's a card here, Speedball, which is a really weird card that I have not. I think it's mostly good. I think it's best in sort of a blue-green fight spell deck.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I'm quite smart enough to play it, to be honest with you.
It seems pretty chaotic.
Yeah,
There's the
definitely
Hawkeyes,
chaotic.
though. But we're not.
Yeah, that's
red.
interesting. Yeah, we're not really red yet. Let me see if there's any reason why I have not looked at this. I have not played with this plan. When creatures are put in your graveyard, draw a card. This one feels a little bit slow to me. I actually think that maybe because we have the equipment package here, we maybe just take the energy daggers. Like we might not be super excited about it, but if we like, it might be, it might end up needing it.
Right.
And then I think Widow's Bite is just another good removal spell. And then look at how many removal spells we have, right? We just have like some creatures that are good at attacking once they get some equipment on them, some good removal, and we're pretty confident that we're black, and we're not sure what else we are, but I'm pretty happy to be in that spot, right?
Yeah. Would you say it's pretty difficult to play more than 2 colors in this format?
I think you can do it. You just have to be intentional about using your land cyclers.
Gotcha.
Hydra Infiltration. I'm going to take the yellow jacket here just in case. It's a good card to put equipment on.
Yeah.
Oof. This is interesting. Okay, so we could just take this other Widow's Bite, which I think would be fine. But there's also a Hydra Assault Robot here, which is sort of the core of the pinging deck I was talking to you about.
Oh.
I'm going to spec on this Assault Robot just in case that pans out, and I'm not too worried about losing that Widow's Bite.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Kingpins Enforcers. All right, so we ended pack 1, and we're looking at our deck, and we feel like what are we feeling confident that we're going to be in? Like, what are we feeling confident about, and what are we feeling flexible on? And I'm feeling.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me, Teddy. Tell me what you think based on what we've done.
I think we're playing black with an equipment sub-theme, and we're curious about which color to potentially splash, if any.
Yeah, I think that's a good read, and I think that we have the skeleton of equipment sub-theme, but again, I don't feel like I need to be committed to this. If we don't find the good equipment, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to force it,
Okay.
But we are open to, we're in a good position to take advantage of picking up some of those equipment. So now here we're at like a really interesting spot actually, because we could just take Repulsor Blast. We could take this Futurist Forge and be in sort of a black-blue artifacty deck, or we could take the Iron Man. I'm actually going to take Iron Man just in case we end up in sort of a Grixis artifacts deck that because equipments are also
one of the bombs in the format.
I wouldn't call Iron Man I wouldn't call it a bomb, but I would say it's a very good value engine where if artifacts are entering all the time, you're drawing cards, it's getting big, you have to deal with it. It's great. I wouldn't call it a bomb because you can just kill it. Mm-hmm. It just dies to removal without having gotten any value, right? If you just played at sorcery speed, then they kill it on their turn.
Right.
But here, I think I'm actually going to take Vision Quest.
Ah, yes, I do know this card.
Okay, how have you used it, or what has the context been in which you've gotten it?
People have tried to maybe brew with Phyrexian Dreadnought in Legacy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that means even a little bit, but it's a good card. Oh, and there's another one. Okay, this is very interesting because Vision Quest obviously lets us get Vision, which is great. It also lets us get Viv, which is the 3-mana Vision, and it's good with Viv because it puts counters on her, lets you draw cards right away.
Right.
Herbie would be great in this. I sort of am liking the idea of maybe being in a Grixis artifact deck.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Like we have the Hydra Assault Robot, we have the Iron Man. I'm not sure that we're going to be in the Machine Smith space, but I am liking the vibes of that. And there's been a couple Futurist Forges that we've seen. Knowing that, oh wow, some good options. But the thing I was going to say is that knowing that, I'm really going to be prioritizing the artifact core and interaction and some land cyclers so that we can make sure we're hitting all of our colors.
Right. And
we have some awkward choices here.
So do we want to take that dual land, or is it still too premature for that?
I mean, I'm really tempted to take the dual land, right? Like, I think that this is but there's so many good picks in this pack. Shuri is an artifact, goes crazy with artifacts.
Oh yeah.
We Say Thee Nay is a fantastic removal spell, or counter. Hour of Defeat's a fantastic removal spell. I'm gonna take Shuri here.
Yeah.
Because she sort of just makes the rest of the plan go so much more smoothly because she discounts your artifacts and she can turn artifacts into you can make 2 copies of Vision, right? You can turn some artifact into another copy of Vision, which is just nuts. And here we're actually in the exact same spot where we have another Shuri or a dual land.
Yeah, I feel like both of those picks would eliminate variance but I guess it depends on how dire you think the need for fixing is right now, or if we can still afford to pick strong cards.
See, and at least right now, I'm feeling like this card is strong enough that I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
And that I'm gonna be looking, and I'm just gonna hope that I can pick up a card like a Roxanne Brutes, which is a land cycler. Or I mean, I'm tempted to take Depower. Depower has just been such a fantastic card.
Oh yeah.
Just cycles and makes their attacks really bad. It also kind of, but I think I need to take the fixing, right? Like I'm going to prioritize the fixing here, even though I really want to take this Depower.
Sure.
Just because, and do you know why Roxanne Brutes is fixing? I don't know if you've seen this card.
Oh yeah, basic land cycling allows you to get any of your 3 potential colors.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so I think I think I want to make sure that we have enough of these, and I don't want to miss out on that. Yes. This is the card I was talking about that pays off the artifact, the equipment package.
Oh yeah, it's wow, yeah, indestructible.
Yeah,
flash.
and exactly. So it's an instant speed trick, and then once you've done that, you can then fling it as a removal spell or get value off of it with surveilling with the swordsman and the stalker.
It's pretty good.
So I like this. Ares God of War, I think is probably, I haven't played with this. This is one I'm unsure of. I think maybe this is an artifact card that sort of draws you a card. Mm-hmm. So it's possible that the Crimson Operative would have been the right pick there, but I haven't played with Ares and I kind of want to. So
there's another. I mean, yeah, recursion's always great.
Yeah. So here, there's a chance we're playing this Hydraulic Helper, which lets you cast artifact spells. I don't really think that this is. I'm going to play the Arc Reactor here. The Deathlock Soldier is interesting. Okay, this is actually. Let me read this one again. I haven't played this one yet. Pay 2 life. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an artifact source. You may choose new targets for the copy. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn.
It's not bad.
That feels like that has to be good.
Yeah.
Because Vision is an activated ability. Is it just activated?
I think it's triggered too.
Activated or triggered. Yeah, so we have lots of artifacts that are triggering things. Here, maybe I'm supposed to take the Hydra Infiltration. I'm going to take the Deathlock Soldier just because it is an artifact. Mm-hmm. And there is a little bit of, we'll just see if it becomes needed. I think I will take the Quinjet for possible fixing. It is an artifact also, which is fine.
True.
Okay, so looking at the deck now, we're not white. I'm fairly confident that we're not playing white. Yes. We are probably not playing the Yellow Jacket. I'm not sure about that. We have, in terms of equipment, we just have 2 so far. Mm-hmm. We could play. We have like a little bit of mix of some good cards that are not artifacts, which I want to make sure we don't have too many of. Right, we really want to be artifact heavy to get the benefit of the artifact triggers that we have.
Right.
But there are also just some really good cards in this pack. Like Justice is just a really good card.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't go against what our plan is, there's no reason not to take powerful cards, right?
Yeah, I think so. And also, for what it's worth, Justice is also, you can bounce the Stark tech back to your hand and have the trick back, right? Wow. Which I think is pretty good. This is interesting.
Stolen tech.
Right, yeah. And this Dark Deed is just such a fantastic removal spell. Oh, yeah. I am gonna have a hard time not taking it.
That's so good.
But I'm really interested in all 3 of these cards down here.
We might
I would love
one of those, right?
I hope so. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is that we've been cutting black really hard. There's a chance we get one of these 2 back. We might even just get the Hydra Assault Robot back because we also at this point we're sort of assuming that we're base blue-black.
Yeah.
But there's and I think that would be okay to splash for some of these, but I'm not sure if we need the Hydra Assault Bot. I'm not sure how good we are at making so many of these that we're pinging them to death. I'm not sure yet. Super Suit is interesting. I'm not going to take it here this early. I think I'm probably just going to take another Cool Alliance.
Yeah, 4 of.
4 of feels really good. You know what feels really good? It feels even better than removing your opponent's creatures is drawing cards when you remove your opponent's creatures.
Yeah, that's busted.
Yeah, I hope, but I would be pretty happy if we picked up a Super Suit. I think so now we have the Assault Robot versus, which is just really good with all of our artifacts, but I don't know that we're spamming artifacts. It doesn't really feel like we are necessarily making an artifact every turn. and getting enough triggers to make that matter.
Right.
We might be just much more interested in taking something like Herbie, which is a good artifact that we can play for 3 if we have a Shuri out that draws us a card and ramps us, and we can get it with Vision Quest to get in for a bunch of damage in the air. So I think I actually like the Herbie play, and maybe it's possible that we're a little bit off of the assault robot plan. We'll have to come look at that and see how together that is. But here I actually think I'm happy to take a Kree Sentinel. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, the thing you have selected right now, the basic land cycling, seems nice.
And I think one thing that I haven't had a chance to do yet, but I think is powerful, is that both of these Vision Quests get stuff from your graveyard.
Yeah.
Right? So you can land cycle away the Kree Sentinel and then bring it in huge.
That's a nice synergy.
Yeah, I like it for sure. I'm tempted to take the Machinesmith automation here, but I don't actually think that we're base red. I have a feeling that we're blue-black, splashing red. So I think I might just want to take the Widow's Bite, though I can see the Quinjet too, but I think Widow's Bite is probably good enough. Oh, fantastic. I don't remember what we took over in Iron Lad earlier. I don't know if I just got distracted, but in the artifact deck, this card is just such gas.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
being able to attack and still activate its card advantage ability is pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. And it's an artifact, so it triggers all stuff. Oh, and there's a start tech. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy to be taking... If we're going to do the equipment package, I think that we want at least one more start tech.
This was our first pack, right?
No, we have one more until the first pack. So there's a chance there's another start tech in that pack. But I think I'm going to take it just in case, because in case there's not, so we didn't get it, right? It didn't come back.
Right.
And because it didn't, now we have a guaranteed 3 pieces of equipment, which I feel pretty good about. And then I feel like I'm just going to take the land here.
That's
over the Rock Zombies. Oh, well, maybe it was this pack that had the start tech.
Must have been. Do we want
I don't know that
or is the assault robot better? Or maybe
that's kind of what I was just thinking.
Ant.
Yeah. Yeah, the flying ant is also just a good flyer.
Yeah, with flash.
Yeah, I think we'll take because I'm not sure how we're going to build it, I'll take that. And we could take we could take the super suit here, but the Ultron drone has also been really good. But if we take super suit, we don't have to take we can cut vibranium daggers. So maybe I'll just do that. And then this connives villains.
We have a few of those. Maybe not enough, but...
Yeah, let's look. You can see.
So we've ended up with a Grixis deck, it looks like.
Hey,
I want
fitting.
to tell all my viewers that this was 100% not planned. It just worked out that way.
Wow, yeah, we really didn't plan it, but I love that it is this. I love that it's happening for us.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so we have kind of a interesting juncture to make, or interesting decision to make here, because we are at 50 cards. We have a lot of cuts we need to make. And so one of the easiest things we could do to make cuts would just be to cut some of the red cards, right? Like we could just cut the Hydra Assault Robots, the Machinesmith Automaton, which actually I think that maybe I want to cut this anyway. The Ares I think is probably still like powerful enough to include.
Would you say 3 toughness is like, does that cut it in this format?
4 toughness feels really good in the format, which is maybe another reason why 4 power is good, right? 3 toughness has felt okay. It has not felt as bad as it has felt in some other formats. It's actually, that's one of the things that I always think is really interesting is how good is a 1/3, right? Like how good is a 1/3 as a blocker tells you a lot about the format. Because yeah, sometimes they're just really terrible as blockers, and sometimes they're fantastic. What are the cards that I am really interested in here? So like when I'm thinking about what the deck wants to do, it kind of feels like it wants to win the game with a Vision Quest, or often will win the game with a Vision Quest. Kind of like control the board, exile all of their threats, make some of their blocks really bad with the equipment. If I'm like attacking in with a Shuri, for example, right? They're going to want to trade that. I can start tech it. That's pretty good. I don't know that I need like Hydraulic Helper, for example, because our curve actually isn't that high on artifacts, right? Like the thing that's high on our curve is the Vision Quest.
Right.
Shuri will help us curve really well into these in a way that still lets it attack with the equipment and stuff. Like it has a little bit more versatility than the helper does. So I feel pretty fine cutting that. We can probably cut the Kingpin's Enforcers. I think we have enough other card draw that we probably don't need it.
Yeah, how expendable are our artifacts in the first place?
Well, so that's an interesting question because yeah, we could sack, for example, like sacking a Stark Tech to draw a card after you've used it as a combat trick feels pretty good, probably, right? But you have to spend the mana to do that versus we already have Ronin, which turns it into a removal spell. And I'm not sure. And also, it's not an artifact itself, right? So it doesn't get cheaper. It can't be got with Vision Quest. It is okay to equip with the equipments, but it just becomes a 3/3 on the ground, which does not feel like an insanely good stat in this format.
Right.
So I feel okay cutting that for now, and maybe let's just focus it down to the things that we really care about. Like maybe we can cut these red cards for now, just for now. We can always add them back. I'm gonna cut Bold Biochemist for now, though. I actually really like this card. I think it's sort of an all-star of the format because it just blocks early and then gets big. But we'll have to find something to cut. It's not an artifact, right? It's just not an artifact, which maybe is enough reason. In terms of removal, let's just see what we have here. So we have the Stark Techs and the Super Suit as equipment. We have Dark Deed, Widow's Bite, 4 times Cool Alliance. Man, that's looking good. Love that. I don't think we need the Quinjet, probably. We'll have to look at our mana and see what our mana looks like. I'll cut the Quinjet for now. And then, yeah, I like it. And I think that, like, when I'm evaluating artifacts versus not artifacts, the Iron Lad is huge on this because everything that's not an artifact on the top of our deck is a card we can't draw with Iron Lad. So I think we really want to reduce the number of those we have. And actually, how many artifacts do we have? We only have 8 artifacts. So, yeah. So we're actually cutting it a little bit close already.
Yeah. I assume it's going to be a land a lot of the time as well.
With the on top? Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And I think that with Iron Lad, like, it's interesting because it kind of lets you... Because you can see the top card of your library at a time, sometimes it lets you draw 2 cards if, like, you have a card on top of your library that you can sort of draw it upkeep, like with the Iron Lad ability, and then you can draw the next card that's not an artifact with just normally for the turn. There's some kind of like cute stuff you can do with it.
Yeah.
We don't have that many villains, I don't think. We have 6. I'm wondering how good Yellow Jacket is, for example. Like, I kind of like having it as a flyer that we can put equipment on, but it doesn't get triggered that much, and it's not an artifact, so maybe I don't care about it. The Scientist Supreme, I think I'm curious about. I haven't gotten to play with it yet. The 2/2 stat line concerns me. It's not really a great stat line in the format, but with the super suits and the tech, maybe that's okay.
Yeah. And would you say like life points are fairly expendable? I know you said that like the ping deck is something people draft often.
It's something I've drafted often. I don't know how much other people are doing what I'm doing, but I'd say to describe the format to you, and I think that we talked about this a little bit, but I logged the first 30 losses I had of the format and my notebook, and when I was reviewing them, overwhelmingly, the thing that felt true was that it felt like this was a format about momentum, and it's very mid-rangey. And whenever you're playing, it basically becomes about who can force your opponent into the first really bad block and blow them out. And then once that happens, you can just kind of like keep spilling over top of them, is how a lot of these decks seems to go, which is why I actually kind of like keeping this, like, the 2 drops that like maybe we can put tricks on, but also Ares brings back. And I kind of like a little bit more assertive nature of like pressing a little bit of advantage, though we don't have that many 2 drops that we're attacking with, but so maybe not quite as. But there's really like an aggro deck in the format, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
At least not that I've seen.
And how much mana are we ideally putting into a Vision Quest? Is that like an elbow tap, win the game situation?
I think that we would ideally like to be doing it for 6, right? Yeah. To give haste, because like sometimes you can. And that would be one of the reasons to maybe try to include some of the pingers, is that like you can get them down, and then just kill them with a Vision Quest. But we also just have quite a few good targets for Vision Quest. Like the Vision is good, Herbie is good because it's evasive, Iron Man's very good because it also triggers off of itself drawing a card when it enters if it is attacking with haste. So yeah, I kind of like where we're at. We need to fix our land situation though, and maybe that'll tell us a lot about where we need to go. So we have 2 land cyclers. We're splashing red. Yeah, I actually just don't think we have the mana to play the pingers. I just don't think we have it actually.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Especially because we like kind of committed to like Shuri and all of our black removal. We kind of were like, okay, well, it's worth going that direction. I am fine, I think, with this split because if we sort of count each of these as a land source, we sort of have 10, 10, and 4 for red, which is a little light on red.
Right.
For where I would want to be, but I don't really. Maybe we can go. What's more important? It looks like blue's more important, so maybe we can go down a swamp and up a mountain, and be like effectively 10, 9, 5. That feels
red sources. Yeah, I mean, I think Iron Man does seem pretty important. I guess it's kind of our Sarah Angel, and even more because it's a card advantage engine.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also a 4-drop. By that point, you're much more likely to have your splash color.
Yeah. There's a chance that we're supposed to. There's a chance that like that Ares is a little bit like because we're not in red black, and this is a card you really want to be playing on 3. That maybe it's not worth including, right? Like maybe our mana's not good enough to play Ares on 3 consistently. Also.
Yeah, possibly. Is that not really helpful if you have a bomb or not even a bomb, but a threat you need to maneuver to a position where you can even cast it?
I think if it was a true bomb, I would be really fine splashing it. And by a true bomb, what I really mean is like a card that takes over the game the turn you play it, right? This card is a card that's pretty bad when you're on the back foot. Like if I play it and I'm being attacked and they are fine with taking 4 damage and this has to attack, that's not amazing for me. It's really the best whenever I'm pushing damage. But it's not always the most impactful draw on like turn 7, right? Like I think when I think about cards I really want to splash, like Vision Quest, very happy to be splashing with 5 sources because if I cast it on turn 6, like perfect, fantastic. But if I don't get my next land source on turn 3 to cast Ares and I have this just sitting in my hand, that's pretty bad for me.
Right.
So maybe I'm going to cut Ares actually.
Yeah. That all makes sense to me.
Okay, cool. And then maybe I'll actually just. I don't know what else I want to. The last cut here is it might actually even just be one of these equipments. I don't really want to reduce our artifact count. I don't really want to reduce our equipment account because we just have that sweet little package. Right. So maybe it's a Widow's Bite, which is like the worst of the removal that I have, which would put us at 6 removal spells.
Yeah. I mean, to me that seems like a healthy amount of removal, but I would defer to you on that.
I could very easily see us playing one additional Widow's Bite over one of these equipment, but since we have the equipment sub theme, I kind of want to try it out, you know? Yeah. And I think that maybe we run it like this and we see how it goes. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, awesome. Let's do it. How did that draft experience differ from your experiences with the limited? Because it sounded, I know that you don't have that. You haven't played standard limited in 12 years, right? So
way more difficult. In Vintage Cube, like you said, the signposts are screaming at you, and your choices are like, oh wow, do I want Dark Ritual or Mind Stone? And like it all pretty much helps your deck, and you don't have to really analyze. You're just working with much more flexible tools, whereas here there's real consideration to be made about your colors and what the texture of the game and combat math even.
Yeah, and combat's a big one in this format. Because how I was talking about how like it kind of feels like whoever can force the first bad block wins.
Right.
Like you have to be really careful that you want to be really intentional about forcing a bad block and not getting one forced on you.
Exactly.
So I feel this seems like we got all of our colors and we can play Justice on 3.
Yeah.
And we have a land cycler for 2. So I'm pretty happy with that. I kind of wish we had an additional of the Kree Sentinels instead of this Roxxon Brutes. Here I'm gonna play, instead of playing a second land to land cycle, I'm gonna play out the Stark Industries and then think about maybe even just hopefully drawing enough land to play the Roxanne Brutes naturally.
So you would have rather had the other because it was an artifact?
Correct. Yep. Because it's an artifact that we could get back with Vision Quest from our graveyard, right? Like if I land cycle this now, I can't get it back with Vision Quest, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which comes up sometimes. So here I feel pretty comfortable just playing out Justice, bouncing their, like just sort of deflating their tempo. It does give them a little bit of value, right? In that they get to replay the Conniver. But if that's how they're spending their turn, I don't think I mind that too much.
Yeah. Yeah, bounce spells that have more value tacked onto them, it just always feels like a huge advantage.
Definitely. Yeah, like if they just replay this now, like I'm pretty happy with that, right? Mm-hmm. We're pretty far ahead on that account. Okay, so they're just gonna play Hydra Troopers.
But they did not get the additional.
Yeah, and they had to have the creature in graveyard to get the trigger because it's an ETB trigger. But yeah, they just milled, and they milled some lands, which it seems like they missed their land drops, so they're probably not happy with that.
Yeah.
The question that I have for myself now is there any benefit to playing Vision Quest right now? And I actually just don't think we have any artifact creatures at 2. I think I'm going to be pretty happy to play that next turn for Iron Lad, right? Would be like a good target for that.
Yes.
So I'm just going to attack. And then I think I'm just going to... I don't think I really care about this Hydra Troopers right now. And so I'm just going to leave up Dark Deed to kill anything that they have. I don't think we don't really have a good 4-mana play, and I don't want to spend my premium removal on their 3/2.
Right.
Because if we just play out the Roxanne Brutes next turn, for example... okay. So they're doing the more pingy thing. I forgot... Wait, why can't I... Oh, I didn't play out the swamp. My lands are the wrong... Oh, yeah, no. I thought... Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, that's on me. That's on me. My bad, fam. I just switched over to these Innistrad lambs, and I'm not used to them being the colors that they are. I thought these were swamps.
Yeah, they all kind of look like swamps.
Yeah, maybe that's a reason not to play the Innistrad lands. Okay, well, that's a little bit of a punt there, unfortunately, because it would have been great to use that tempo to our advantage.
We are pretty gated on black mana, so probably playing one spell a turn for a minute. Unless
I think that's...
you want to cycle the Brutes, but like you said, just casting it and having the biggest creature on board is never bad.
Yep. No, I think that seems pretty reasonable to me, and I kind of like doing that here, because if we do hit another land, we can Vision Quest for a 4-drop, and our 4-drops are excellent, right. And we can also get the haste trigger. So I think I'm actually going to play out the Roxanne Brutes. The question is, am I going to attack with Justice? And I think I actually like leaving Justice back, because if I have to trade off Justice for a Hydra Troopers, I think I'm okay with that, especially since we have Vision Quest coming up and our card advantage should be better than theirs.
Right.
So I'm just going to play out the Brutes. I'm pretty sad that I didn't have the Dark Deed to kill their Hydra Assault Bot last turn, because one of the ways I lose this game is just getting pinged a lot.
Right.
Yeah. So that's 2 damage. And I don't really want to be using the Dark Deed now, because I want to be able to use Vision Quest on my turn.
Yeah, hopefully being conservative will pay off, but I do hear that it would have been nice to have this board a little more controlled by now.
Yeah, for sure. And here, I'm reading that they have a Stolen Stark tech.
Must be.
So I think what I want to do is block in such a way that they have to use it, and they can either use it in a way that it would just eat Justice. Well, let's think about this, because if I attack this way, they basically have to use it for no value. They could also have Widow's Bite, right? That's the other thing that they could have, is a Widow's Bite, which would shrink my Roxanne Brutes.
They'd still trade, right?
Not if...
Or no?
Yes. No, not if they make it at -2/-2. So if they have Widow's Bite, they could shrink my thing and give this Death Touch. The question is basically, like, do I want to try to leave up, like, a Stark tech turn, right? Or, like, a Dark Deed where I make them do something and then I react to it. But I think we're a little bit too far behind, especially with... and stuck on black mana.
Right.
So I'm going to try to make them do something. And a Widow's Bite is very bad for us here. Yeah, okay. Oh, but they just did 1 mode of it?
That's interesting.
That's not what I would have done.
Well, we missed the land.
Yeah, we did not hit the land for the vision quest. Our 3-mana options is, I think it's just Iron Lad.
Yeah.
And that would give Iron Lad, it'd be a 4/4, which I don't love. I think I'm more interested in just trying to deflate their board a little bit. So
just cast a removal spell?
I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, because I could play out the... I guess the Scientist Supreme does chump one of these things, which is maybe fine. Because I don't... Yeah, I guess the other thing I was thinking is that we could play Cruel Alliance on their Hydra Assault robot, maybe. But yeah. I don't know. This also gets a blocker down. If they don't force me into it blocks, I can use the stolen target. It gives me a couple more options for next turn. Right. Okay, nice. Yeah, so like now here they can attack me for 2. Okay, they did hit a land. Good for them.
Would you block it? No. Yeah.
Oh man, we're really... This being stuck on black mana is rough, and not being able to have done the Dark Deed several turns ago is hurting us for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can do... Okay, so this is a kind of a fun trick. So I can play Ronin out, and then because I can pay 2 life, I can actually cast the Stark Tech with Ronin's ability at instant speed, even though I'm tapped out on black. So I'm just gonna do that. And I don't... Yes, everyone can see what happens. So I can pay 2 life, and then I can use it to cast the Stark Tech, give something indestructible. I don't think I can... what am I trying to say? I don't think copying target activated or triggered ability you control from an artifact source. That doesn't give... Can I double the indestructible effect?
Yes.
Well, that's really rude.
Oh, they had Cruel Lines? So now we have to do it now?
Yeah, and equip it to the sign. And it doesn't... Cruel Lines exiles, so we won't be able to get the benefit on... But we can make them not able to attack profitably. Right?
All right.
Okay, we're pretty happy with that. So we're still stuck on black mana, unfortunately. I think what I want to do is play Shuri out and then leave up Dark Deed, though I could also play Shuri and use up my mana completely and just use Cruel Alliance to exile maybe their Crimson Operative, which puts us down on... well, exiling Crimson Operative, I have to tap something to do that. I have to teamwork too, so I have to tap Shuri. But I think that actually still deflates tempo in a way that I'm okay with. Because I don't really want to block with Shuri anyway.
Right.
So I'm just going to exile the Operative. And obviously I would prefer to... I just think there's too much of a chance that it gets bigger and can attack profitably, which I'm not about.
Yeah. Are you willing to trade the Scientist Supreme here?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty willing to do that.
Okay.
Because it's not really like... The Scientist Supreme feels like a little bit of a nice... Well, let's think about it for a second. It really depends if we draw a land next turn. But do I really want to be paying 2 life to do it?
Yeah, it might... We might... Like, do we need to take that kind of a risk? Are we that far behind?
Like, are you saying, like, do we just take 2 damage here versus, like, lose the benefits of it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like, do you think we can win if we don't draw a land?
It's a good question. I think that here we probably can take 2. But, again, the thing that I'm feeling is that this format is very snowball-y. And so if we take 2 here, they play some other... Like, their board gets bigger... I think it's okay. I think we can take... I'll say no blocks, but my instinct is to try to make their board smaller, if that makes sense. Oh, this is great. This is a great draw.
Yeah.
So we can play Herbie, and actually we can pay 2 life to draw an additional card, which is a little, is hurting us on life, but I think it's probably worth it at this point.
I think so.
So I'll play the Herbie, making sure not to tap my Swamp. Pay 2 life. Did not draw a land. Oh my goodness. No lands.
Tough.
Okay, but here's one of the cool things that we can do is we can turn the stolen Stark Tech into another Herbie to block with.
Right.
Oh wait, no, it's only as a sorcery. Never mind. I lied. I think we just pass.
Yes.
We're definitely on the back foot right now. And basically we're trying to get to a place where we can stabilize, play out the vision quest, get some creature that draws us cards. Probably, we'll have to see whether we want to get the Iron Man, which would draw us cards immediately, or the Vision, which would give us more cards as we cast our other spells.
Uh-huh. They definitely have the mana to power that up.
Cost 4, 5, 6, 7.
Or not
yeah, so they can...
but...
I think they can do it this turn. Yeah, I'm really sad that we did not kill this Hydra assault robot back when we had the chance, because I think we're gonna have to kill.
Yeah.
Like we have to. We did not have an opportunity to do this before they could do this, because they could do it at sort of instant speed. So they could have done it in response to us killing it.
We can do it now, right?
We can do it now. We could still kill it either way. Right? I kind of like the idea of like letting them go to blocks, because like this doesn't do anything. Like killing it now just gives them more like information.
Oh, they still get the creature?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they go to attacks. They don't do anything. I think we do kill the Legionnaire now, though.
Okay.
Just because we need to use up all of our mana, especially our black mana.
Yeah.
There's a land.
Could get the vision, but do we want to be more ahead when that happens? We got these cruel alliances.
Right, so the question basically becomes, like, do we want to try to use these cool alliances right now? I actually kind of like the line of, I don't know that we need to get the vision, because the vision doesn't draw us a card right away, as where Iron Man would. It's an interesting question. If we go get Iron Man, it'll come in, it'll be a 1, 2, 3, 4,
A 6.
8? 8-4?
Oh.
I think. So that would kind of put so much pressure on them. The vision, and it would draw a card right away. The vision would draw a card later when we start using removal spells.
Okay.
I kind of like the idea. I kind of like getting Iron Man, to be honest with you, just because like I kind of feel like we need cards immediately.
I agree.
Okay, 7, 8. I'll attack with the Iron Man. I'm not going to attack with Herbie, and I do not think I'm going to draw an additional card off of this Aim Scientist.
Yeah, because even if we hit a swamp, we can't cast Cruel Alliance.
And I don't really like going down to 4.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, but next turn, hypothetically, we can cast Cruel Alliance twice.
Right.
Hopefully they don't hit a removal spell off of this. Yeah, they're pinging us pretty close.
If we can resolve these Cruel Alliances, though, that's 6 life.
Yeah. Yep. If they don't have a removal spell this turn, oh man, I don't like that. What does this mean?
Can we afford?
They could have.
Iron Man?
Sorry.
Can we afford to block with Iron Man? Is that too risky?
That's what I'm wondering. But I'm trying to think of what they could have. They could have Widow's Bite, which would give something Death Touch to kill Iron Man. They could have. They could just be planning on sacking whatever we block with the Kingpin's Enforcers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could be. They could have the spell that pumps everything +1/+1.
So maybe we block the Hydra Assault Robot with Scientist, chump the one of the 2/3s with Herbie, and then I'm not sure.
We need to not.
Shuri.
We need to not die. I think we actually. I think we're willing to trade. Yeah, like the 2/1 toughness is rough here, right?
Yeah.
Let's just see if we do it like this. Do we die to anything? Actually, I think I want Herbie more. I don't think we die to anything. Whenever a villain you control enters, you lose 2 life. Like, is it worth? Do we need a chump? Is what I'm wondering right now. Like, do we need to take like no damage? And I think we'll just try this and see what happens. Because there's a chance that they're just gonna sack. Okay. Oh, and I forgot about Lightning Strike. No.
Jeez.
I forgot about Lightning Strike. Oh my gosh, we did need the chump. That's terrible. Okay, we didn't play around Lightning Strike. Yeah, it's best of 1.
Ah, jeez.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we were stuck on black mana for a lot of that, and actually, I think that in general, whenever someone makes an attack like that, where they're obviously throwing away all their like pieces, I probably should just try to make sure I don't take any damage, and I should have thought about Lightning Strike. I forgot about Lightning Strike, but yeah, not playing around Lightning Strike was a big mare there. So actually, this brings us to the next phase of what we usually do whenever I'm playing these games. Looking at the notebook.
Yes.
So, for people who aren't familiar with the TheLimitedLab notebook, which is probably most of you, this is the tool that I built that I use to reflect on my games. And the reason that I use it is because whenever I start logging my decision points and the high-level failure modes of how I lost any individual game, over time that accumulates into data that is really beneficial. So, for example, if we're just looking at Marvel superheroes so far for me, you can see that out of the decisions I've made that have worsened my position, sequencing has been a big one, and combat has been a big one, and interaction was right underneath it. So these are the big 3 types of decisions I've made that have been negatively impacting me in the format so far. And when I'm breaking it down, I can look and see like, okay, for interaction specifically, choosing a removal target, playing around removal or tricks, which is one, it's going to have another tick here because we just didn't play around lightning strike. That sort of thing. Those are sort of the big ones. With sequencing, it's all about whether or not I'm disrupting my opponent versus developing my board, right? So these are all the entries that I've added when I've looked back on my games for the reasons that I've lost, and I can sort of aggregate that data up. But I think probably more importantly, looking at the high level modes of why I lost, some of the biggest ones are not being able to answer a threat or getting my creatures outsized, which are some of the big things that have affected me in this format. And so when I've been thinking about things like I have a lot of removal, it's because I keep losing to not being able to answer a specific threat, right? So that's the notebook. That's how I've been using it. And today we can use it to sort of reflect on some of these, reflect on these games specifically. So let me pull up.
If you like play an island that looks like a swamp, and that little bit of damage probably ended up making us lose the game, right?
It did, yeah. Because I think that's a great example of like because we took an additional 4 damage from that robot, right? That I wanted to kill but couldn't because we never had another opportunity to do it.
Right.
So looking back on 17 lands and looking at that game, that was the first big decision I think that was. Or I don't even call it a decision. It was just an error, right? They played this robot. I wanted to be able to kill it. My lands I played the wrong land. So how I would flag that in this is played mountain instead of swamp, and this is just that's actually just an error, right? Which is, where's my error or mistake? Wait, why can't I? Where's my error? One I usually have. Oh, I think I actually changed it. Oh, that's all right. Sorry, I just recently, I've been still maneuvering this a little bit. I just moved around where that is. Oh, this is actually a tactical failure mode. It's a reason. One of the reasons we lost the game is because I made an execution error, right? Gotcha. Which is, and sort of when I'm describing these 2 different things, the failure modes are sort of the big picture things that sort of describe the overall loss of the game, right? Like in general, why am I losing? And the decision types are actual decisions I'm making. And the reason I was confused is because up until recently, error was a decision type, but I'm realizing that it actually isn't really a decision. It's just a mistake, right?
Right.
So it's logged in a different way there.
A real philosophical debate whether like a mistake is a decision. I would argue it's not. Like you don't really decide to do something you don't want to do, but
right. Yeah, I've definitely flagged like an attention lapse or like autopilot moment, which actually I think that kind of also was that. I think it was sort of just like I just played out my land. I wasn't thinking about it too hard. Mm-hmm. I didn't like double, triple check. So I'll call that on an autopilot lapse. So playing mountain over swamp. Yeah, because I did sort of like, I think I have all my mans. I didn't like double check, which you need to do in that sort of spot. And that definitely worsened my position, and it was definitely wrong. So that was the first thing. I feel pretty confident that I should have played a swamp there. But then the second thing, the big decision, I think that we actually played the rest of that game pretty cleanly, right? There were a couple of places where we like maybe made a decision to not block. If I'm going back through this and trying to remember exactly where that all happened, I don't think there was too much we could have done differently. We played the vision quest. We could have gotten the vision instead, but I don't think that affected us negatively. Getting the Iron Man, I don't really think it impacted us too much either way.
And I think we were pretty disciplined in not paying an additional 2 life to double the Iron Man trigger.
Yeah, and maybe we were wrong to double the card draw off of the Herbie, but we really needed to hit a land. Right. You know, like we really needed another black source. So, but this was obviously the biggest mistake that we made of the whole thing, was not playing around a trick, right? In this case, it's not really a trick. It's more of like damage to face, but not playing around the lightning strike was the thing that really literally killed us.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I think that there's a chance that we're actually, this has summoning sickness, so they couldn't have attacked with it. So the way I would play this here is just like not playing around lightning strike. And that was an interaction decision, playing around removal or tricks. We lost the game because of it. And I think it was wrong, especially because I should remember that lightning strike is in this format, because I killed the trophy deck I just had from that's going to be dropping in the video I drop on Monday. that was exactly how I killed everybody that I played. Was I pinged him down to 2 life and then lightning struck him in the face. So I should have been familiar with that. And when we're thinking about sort of high level ways that we lost the game, I think we got pinged and drained out, right? Like that was a big one. We just got pinged, and then they lightning struck us.
Right.
And that was a big.
Maybe going after was it tactical assault robot? Is that the one red card? Yeah, maybe prioritizing removal on that, even though it's a bad attacker. Yeah, the ping is real.
Yeah, it's really real. Yeah, and I'm glad that we got to see that in real time. That was the sort of decision that we were hedging against, and actually in deck building. But I like that this deck that we saw was a really good example of the other side of Hydra Assault Robot. Right, it's focused on the villains, not the artifacts. And so I like that. Like that's one of the reasons. I was actually a perfect example of why I like this format. Is there's a lot of flexibility in how you design your decks. Right, this card looks good in a couple different shells.
Sure does.
But yeah, we got drained out there, and then I also say that we did get we got color screwed a little bit, right? We didn't get a black source, and so I'm going to flag that as a variance failure mode here. And actually, I think that just something for people that are watching, it's very easy in limited to just blame everything on variance, right? Like it's so easy to just be like, oh well, I didn't get my land because I didn't get my land, I lost, and like yes, that's true, it happens to all of us. But that said, whenever you start to see trends, like and you start to see that like okay, I'm flooding out a lot, or I'm getting screwed on lands a lot, or my color issues are happening a lot. Like I think for me, trying to remember which set it was recently. I think it was Secrets of Strixhaven actually, where I was getting color screwed way more than I was getting land screwed or flooded, right?
Yeah.
And so what this told me was that I didn't have good enough mana in my decks, right? Like yes, variance is a part of it, but whenever you're seeing one of the variance factors leaping out way above the other ones, that's a signal that you can do something about deck construction to improve how you're going. So that's sort of why
I see that high of a metric in a set focused on color pairing.
Right, and I think that's actually a really good call out. That everybody's data is going to look different because everybody plays different, right? And for me, I love making soup decks, and like Avatar: The Last Airbender was my favorite format in recent history, and I just played 5-color soup all day, every day, and I loved it. There was a 3-mana artifact that would untap on your opponent's turn, like it's like a 3-mana tap for any color and would untap on your opponent's turn. And you could just like play. You could play pips of every color on everybody's turn. It was amazing. I loved it. And ever since then, I've been addicted, and I'm trying to do that in every format. And not every format supports that. And I think I was trying to play 5-color decks in a format that didn't support it as much, right? Yeah. And that's probably part of the reason I was getting color screwed. But that was good data for me because once I saw that, I was able to adjust how I approached the format, right? And that's like that's what makes this having the data so great. So yeah, I think that's anything else that you would add to this game about what you think, like maybe decisions we made or why we lost. Besides that, I know you also called out like maybe we should have killed the assault robot earlier, which I think is reasonable. Though I think by the time we were needing to kill it, we also needed to kill the big attacker, unfortunately.
Yeah, like threat assessment is often difficult, especially when you do have to weigh the ping triggers versus its actual power when it's attacking you.
Right.
And I think we made the right call.
Yeah, well, and it's
have a little more resources to address both threats.
Or it would have been nice to kill this thing on the turn we wanted to kill it.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, okay, well, cool. I think that is like, and that's an example of like at this point in the format, I should have remembered Lightning Strike, but especially early on, that's an example of a piece of data that's so helpful. Whenever you're like, oh, I keep dying to Lightning Strike. Let me make sure I'm playing around Lightning Strike. You know, that increases your win percentage by 3% or 5% just by playing around Lightning Strike.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised when I saw it. I don't think we saw one during the draft process.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing one. I think I would have considered it probably if we had. But yeah, we should have. That was a game that was ours to win or ours to lose, I think, and we lost it. Yes. So, and that happens. All right, notably, Swamp first. Because we want to be able to play Widow's Bite here. So hopefully they just give us a good target for Widow's Bite. And I kind of feel like whatever they play, because of the tempo... Oh, that's a terrible target. I am not going to kill that. Agents of Hydra dies into a better creature.
Oh, yeah.
So literally the worst card that we could kill with Widow's Bite. But I actually think that we're pretty fine with that because it's not pressuring us at all.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we're pretty happy to play Herbie next turn. Probably bait some removal. Hopefully get to 6 mana so that we can leave up Vision and one of our tricks that gives Vision indestructible.
Mm-hmm. Is trading Herbie for Agents of Hydra a good trade?
I don't think so.
I would say yes, because Herbie already drew a card, but like if you just
But
find it okay for this thing to hit you for 1 as
right.
for like the whole game, then I guess not.
Well, and the other thing about trading Herbie is that if this dies, they get a 2/1, right? So like it kind of negates, like they get a better attacker that I have to then deal with.
Gotcha.
So I think specifically here, I'm not as interested in that. There's also, this is actually an interesting choice because Herbie draws us a card, might ramp us. Shuri opens us up to the possibility of, like, we can play Shuri and leave up like Widow's Bite or Stark Tech, and then be able to cast one of these things cheaper next turn.
Yeah,
which is interesting too.
Seems like a draw that kind of changed things.
Yeah, I think I actually kind of like playing out Shuri right now.
Yeah.
Especially because they also have open. Oh, they don't have blue mana, but they probably have removal. And if they just have damage-based removal, I can get the Stark Tech on. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now like the Stark Tech is only 1. Nice. Cool. Because especially, and that's actually really good for next turn because if we can play Vision and have Stark Tech up to protect it, even if we don't draw a land, we can do that. So.
Right.
And I like leaving up the Widow's Bite too, because we basically put ourselves in a position where if they have fight spells, we can blow them out with that.
Right. I'm pretty surprised they didn't attack.
I am also. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm not surprised by that. I think that it seems like they don't want to take 2. Like they're not winning a race, right? Like if we both do nothing, they're taking 2. I'm taking 1. So I think that that's a good block back. But now the question becomes, what do we leave up? And I think that we want to leave up again here though. I could actually see playing out Herbie and trying to hit another land versus playing out the Vision. Vision's better, but Herbie also like eats removal, which I like. So I'm gonna do it this way.
Damage since it flies.
Yeah, that's right. And if we draw a land here, I am not gonna put it into the battlefield tapped. Okay, we did not draw a land. That's fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't put it in because we haven't made our land drop yet. So you can just put
That's
it
right.
in untapped.
And then have Widow's Bite up. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so we didn't get to blow them out with Widow's Bite, but we could put a Stark Tech in here, which I actually think I'm okay with.
Yeah.
To keep our flyer alive.
Seems good.
And it kind of wastes their removal spell. Like it makes them. And actually, the other thing I really like about that is even though it would have been nice to have that for the Vision can get indestructible just from me casting any other non-creatures. Right. It puts them in a position where they're now incentivized to kill this again on their turn. Ooh, we are going to have to kill Baron Hydra ASAP. Because Baron Hydra makes their villains cheaper, and it makes all their villains connive. It just does so much work.
Yeah.
So because of that, I actually think I want, because we're sort of in a position here where we're in the question. This is a classic decision point that comes up of, do I assert my board, right? Do I play out the Vision? Do I play out Iron Man? Or do I disrupt my opponent? Do I kill their good creature with a Widow's Bite or a Cruel Alliance? And we have to make that decision about which is the right choice here.
Well,
I'm going to attack.
Cards in them. Oh yeah, you could attack, see if that baits anything out.
Right, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Might make our decisions a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So the question, like when it comes down to like this disruption versus like us asserting our position, how far does it keep us back if we disrupt them now? Like, because they're probably going to get at least one. They're going to get one Baron trigger next turn, and they're going to be able to cast one villain. But maybe actually I don't care about that because they're not putting too much pressure on us. So if I play the Vision out now I have the pressure, and then next turn I can use 2 removal spells.
Right.
If I draw a land. So actually, I think I do kind of like that, of playing the Vision out now. The only thing I'm scared of is exile removal, but that kind of is what it is. So actually, I think I am going to do that. I'm just going to play the Vision out, and I'll leave up Super Suit. And best case scenario would be that they try to use removal mid-combat or something, and I can cast Super Suit, give this indestructible, and then like protect something else with the Super Suit.
Yeah, it seems really good.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're mega punished. Doctor Doom cheaper off of Baron. Like they couldn't cast it, but now they can because it was cheaper.
Right.
Okay, that's really good. Doctor Doom is a huge problem. We're just gonna draw a lot of cards off of this, but we can exile it though, so that actually is fine. Never mind. Crisis averted. because it's just indestructible. Hey, whenever I was saying that there were so many indestructible things in the format that are a big pain in the butt and Cruel Alliance gets around them.
Yeah. So
there we go.
We don't want to cast Super Suit on our end step, right? That's like our combat trick just to hold up.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah. And I think like the only reason to do that would be to like make the vision bigger to then get like the double strike effect on it. But I don't think we need to do that. I think we're probably just going to try to draw cards off of the vision. Let's think through our turn before we make any choices. We're going to need to Cruel Alliance Dr. Doom on end step.
Right.
We can probably tap Shuri to do that, which means we're going to have 2 more mana available, which I kind of like leaving up for Widow's Bite. I don't want to risk leaving Dr. Doom around to get to draw them any more cards.
Yeah.
So because of that, like that means that the line of playing Iron Man is just off the table, right? Which I think is fine. And I think that I'm okay attacking with the Herbie, though actually leaving the Herbie back, no, it still trades with the Doom bots. I think we want to try to get the game over maybe and get in range of getting them with a double strike on the vision.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I'm thinking. So attack with these 2. Play Cruel Alliance.
Yeah, the game 3 is pretty big here, right?
Yeah. And we will just draw a card. Dr. Doom is exiled. And now we have both Super Suit and Widow's Bite up, and we can do whichever one is better for us.
Right.
And actually, it's possible that I was supposed to just kill Baron here so they can't get more connive triggers. But I want to try to use... Oh my goodness.
So we could do it now if we really wanted, right?
Yep. Let me think if there's any way we get punished for this. What land entered the battlefield this turn? Okay, that did. So they played a land for turn. So they can't... they're not going to be able to use like anything that would kill my vision with exile. So the question is like, do we want to kill this to get the connive trigger, right? Or like to keep them from getting the connive trigger and to keep them from possibly double spelling this turn? I think I like that. And let's just kill that. And I think, do we want to draw another card here, or do we want to give this double strike or indestructible?
I think I'd draw a card, but it's up to you.
I think I kind of like indestructible actually.
Okay, yeah.
Because we're ahead on board, or we're ahead on cards. Assuming that the vision lives, we're ahead on cards. And like if they attack this turn, we just want to make their attacks not good.
Right. Okay.
And like I don't want to be in a position where they attack with this 4/4. I block because I don't want to take 4 damage, and then they have a trick that kills the vision. You know?
Yeah, like that -4/-4 spell.
Right, though that would actually kill vision anyway, I think. Right, because it would have damage on it, and then it would lose its toughness. Or am I thinking about that incorrectly? Like actually,
it would survive.
So like look at this. I can just chump 6 damage because we did that.
Yeah,
right?
It's actually really good.
And now I think we might actually just have lethal. So let me just look real quick. Because this gives +1/+0. This gives +1/+0. If we put both of them on the vision, gave it double strike, that would be 4. 4, 5, 6. Not quite enough. We do have Vision Quest, and we drew another land.
Yeah,
so we could do that.
Flying artifact creature.
We do. We have Iron Lad.
Yeah.
And so if we
give the vision
got
double
Iron
strike.
Lad, yeah, so that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 6.
Yeah.
That's lethal, right?
Yep.
Am I counting that correctly? So I should just do this for 4?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Very strong.
Okay, so their deck was sweet, right? You got to give it to them. They had some pretty sweet villain stuff going on. When we're looking back at that game, though, I feel like we made some pretty good decisions. I think there were some pretty good decisions in that game. The one at the end, I think, was like recognizing lethal, right? Like going for lethal instead of just like trying to play the game was good. We also played around removal really well by like just always leaving up protection for our creatures. I feel like that was pretty good. This was an interesting choice. Actually, maybe this is one of the more interesting ones in the game here, is like when we chose not to kill their like enabler and play out our board instead.
Right.
How do you feel like because here's the scenario, right? It's like they have 5 mana. They play Doctor Doom when they wouldn't have been able to otherwise, but we have the Vision on board instead of having removed their Baron. So like what's your read on whether or not that improved our position or not?
I think they took the opportunity of us being tapped low because we resolved a bomb, and they responded with their own bomb, and it did blow out their board. They had those Doom bots, but we were able to turn around and remove it, not at profit since it also drew a card. Oh yeah, it also made the tokens. So yeah, we definitely went down on cards in that exchange, but being able to have threats that fly kind of invalidated whatever advantage they got off Doctor Doom. And also with the Baron, it's Connive is also card neutral as far as I understand. It's good card selection,
Right. Yep.
but they're not going up on cards the longer we leave that in play. So I think it was a risk that ended up paying off. And I don't even think it was that huge of a risk.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the thing I like about playing to the board there is because we have the removal spells in hand, we sort of set up this position where we play our board out. We still had a super suit up to protect the Vision if we needed to.
Right.
And then assuming that even if they played exactly what they did, they probably had the best next turn they could have had playing out Doctor Doom. Because of the 2 different removal spells we had in hand, we're in a position now where we can punish them. We can use removal to deflate their tempo or their momentum, but now we have the positive momentum, right? So we are the ones snowballing, and now they're in a position where they have to keep us from snowballing, and it's going to be hard for them to do that.
Right.
So yeah, I like that choice of let's do this, of like playing out Vision instead of removing their Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was definitely a sequencing decision. Disrupting my opponent versus developing my board, and I think that really improved our position. And yeah, I think that was good. I'd make the decision again. And then the second one we did was, what was the thing that we were just talking about? Oh, recognizing lethal, right? When we saw the play with the Vision Quest. Yeah, maximizing damage, recognizing lethal, and that won us the game. So I love that. And yeah, I think that you can sometimes log failure modes even in games you've won, right? Because like there were things that were making you lose, but I don't feel like we were really losing at any point in that game. I kind of felt like it was our game to, like, we had control. We were controlling the flow of the game the entire game, and I liked that.
Yeah, they were definitely presenting things worth respecting, but we weren't banking on a top deck or anything. We had the Vision Quest and the Vision in our hand. We just had to formulate a plan around what they were doing.
Right. And I think that that's a good, like, we just had to play not to lose, right? And I feel like in Limited, that's such an important like role skill to have, is to like know when you need to play to win versus know when like play not to lose.
Right.
Yikes.
Is this
There's that mountain. So we can play Swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically, we can play Cruel Alliance. If we draw an island, this hand is fantastic. We're on the draw.
Okay.
Let's look at the chances. So our percent chance to draw a land is 45%.
It's pretty close to
50.
50.
To draw an island specifically, it's 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of 4 turns.
I feel like a hand with the Vision in it is hard to throw back.
I think I'm okay keeping this one.
It also has the crazy combo of Shuri and Super Suit that we saw last game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the universe just really loves you, and you just get exactly what you need. I actually have a funny story about that. Here, before I tell you though, I think this is interesting because if we get the Swordsman down, we can start getting like value off the Super Suit. If we play Shuri, we can cast the Vision next turn. I think that's better.
Yeah.
Right. Though I also kind of still don't want to do that until I have the.
Yeah, we could do that the following turn. Play Swordsman this
right.
turn.
Oh, sorry. Well, if we play this
turn 4, yeah.
If we play Shuri this turn, we can play Swordsman and leave up Super Suit next turn.
Right.
Still. Right. But yeah, the Swordsman wants to attack, which is the only thing. But I like the idea of like just getting the discounts online. Okay.
Yeah. So they're going pretty wide.
And they're doing the Flyers thing. Well, I kind of like playing out the Scientist Supreme and leaving up the Super Suit.
Mm-hmm.
Though it doesn't This one specifically doesn't have an indestructible clause that it would
just
mimic.
2 extra toughness.
Yeah, but we can't like move that around, right? Because it only stays on the creature is actively equipped to at the end.
Right.
So if that's the case, maybe it's better to play out the swordsman.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you think doubling vision triggers with scientist, that's going to be like more of an end game thing?
Yeah, I think so. It could be. I mean, actually, well, we could get the value out of it next turn, right? Actually, that maybe would have been a good reason to do it this turn, is to, like, if we're going to copy a card draw off of the super suit, for example.
Right.
But I guess this is more of like a tempo. Like, we're thinking that maybe we'll be tempo positive with the swordsman sort of play. Versus this is
important, since like I've noticed that mana is a gate a lot of the time in this format, and probably most limited formats, so there's not a lot of like free spells, you know, so sometimes drawing tons of cards isn't the advantage. I just inherently think it is.
Well, and especially when your cards are not as good as they are in Legacy. You know. But I also the life is paying the life is something I'm concerned about here with the drone and the flying. Here I'm assuming that they have a counter. And they probably have We Say Thee Nay, which is a 2-mana counter. And so I think I want to play out the Scientist Supreme. Yeah, I'm just going to play out the Scientist Supreme and try to play around a counter spell, because I don't want the Vision to get countered.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
And I think I don't really have good attacks. I could attack with the Swordsman, and they could double block, but then if I use the Super Suit, that's not really how I want to use that.
Yeah.
So, and especially, like, even if I did do that, there's a good chance to counter it, and then I trade my 1/1 for the, like, 2/2 for a 1/1. Not really what I want to be doing.
Yeah, so what does our role look like from now on? Do we just like wait for them to tap out to cast the Vision, or?
I think that's a really good question. We also might just need to kill this shield deployment drone. Like, there's a good chance that, like, the right play is to try to kill the drone. I don't know that I want to do that. That's not really where I want to be. But
What just made a clue?
There's a Futurist Forge. If they tap out a blue, we want to play the Vision.
Do you know where that clue came from at the end of the last turn?
They got it off of the Panther Pounce.
Oh, okay.
We're still in get countered territory, unfortunately. Right. But we're in a little bit of a tricky spot because they can just keep attacking with the flyer, which almost makes me want to just, like, bait the counter now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The only solution to that would be like top deck another bomb, like Vision Quest, and power through the counter spell, or just wait for them to tap out a blue, which might not ever happen.
Well, and I think that because they don't ever have to tap out a blue,
right?
Because they have they can just, like, draw cards off Futurist Forge or draw cards off of the Bolt Biochemist. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like just putting them in a position where if they want to assert the game, they have to do something and use their mana to do it.
What's the other ability on Shuri? Okay.
So, like, making a super suit into a Vision seems pretty good.
Yes.
This is really awkward because they're just going to keep drawing cards. Like, they have the Futurist Forge to draw 2 cards off of. They have the Bold Biochemist. So, like, if I don't play out Vision, like, what am I going to do? Wait until I get to 4 extra mana? Which is, like, I guess that could be 1 turn away.
Yeah.
That's probably okay. Man, we're losing the game right now, though, I think. And we can't really... So, like, I guess, like, I'm kind of countering the Vision myself by not playing into open blue mana, but I don't know. I don't know that... Like, it just seems so likely that that's what they have.
I agree. Yeah, it doesn't really seem right to just wait for them to tap out in a bad spot.
But they're not, like, killing us on board. They're just killing us in cards.
Right.
Now they're playing to the board. And I think with the Biochemist... Actually, okay, I kind of like this now. They're probably going to attack. Becomes a 4/6. I guess we don't have... We could triple block. Mm-hmm. Which maybe we're okay with because we have another Shuri. But then we're going to be forced to play the super suit, which I don't really love. So I think we just take... I think we just take 4 here, unfortunately.
Sure.
Yeah. I kind of want a triple block, but I don't really want to trade my Swordsman and my Scientist for that. Okay. I kind of like just playing the Roxxon Brutes here. they're gonna count. If they're gonna counter anything, they're gonna counter this, right?
Yeah.
Like, or I guess like maybe they are. They probably are. If they have 2 mana up, they're probably countering this. So like maybe we'll just bait the vision counter. And if they don't counter this, that's telling.
Is there a counter spell for 1 in a blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called We Say Thee Nay, and it counters unless you pay 2, but you can teamwork it for 2 to counter unless they pay 4.
Okay.
So they've had the flexibility to counter up to do the teamwork. So they're just gonna do Murdoch's Crusade. Okay, so maybe they could still have the counter, but just still didn't do it because they had a removal spell in hand. And now they do have a pretty, like they can just keep attacking for 4 damage every turn now. I don't love where we're at.
Yeah.
What do you think about triple blocking here?
I think it's, I mean, if we can't just like wait around and hope to draw something, right? We probably have to get them to act.
Yeah. All right, let's see. They made out good on this trade, unfortunately. I think we're gonna just have to hope to out card value them with the vision.
Yeah.
Okay, well they might just try to power this up here, which maybe means that they don't have a counter spell, and we just been playing around it for nothing. Yeah, that's a great draw, as long as they don't have exile removal. And next turn, if we can use one of these, oh, and they have web up. Yeah, okay.
Dang. Should we draw some cards on the way out?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is like maybe we just cast Stark Tech here and draw a card.
Yeah.
Though this, because this would, like Stark Tech would stop them from attacking, or blocking here rather. Or yeah, attacking with the 4/3. Though I guess they could power it up. So I'll draw a card.
Dark Deed.
Dark Deed. Oh, tapped so badly though. Oh, I actually only have 1 swamp, so
Yeah.
not much I could do about it.
That was fine. But you don't want to use the super suit. We can never remove this web up, right?
And I can't draw another card.
Oh. Okay,
I only get to do one of them each turn. I don't think I have anything for super suit. Okay, so they're gonna gain some life here, but we get to block a bunch of damage, which I'm happy about. Yeah, blocking 6 damage here. Honestly, the super suit in a couple of games has just been a good, like, save a bunch of life play.
Yeah.
Or the Stark Tech. Like, not being at 9 here feels pretty good. Okay, so we can just... I don't think we have any reason to hold lands in hand. And we have reasons to keep playing lands because we can go get some good
Vision
stuff.
Quest.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're just going to pass turn.
Yep. It would probably take a Vision Quest to win this, right?
We need something that's drawing us cards, for sure. And I think a Vision Quest would be an excellent way to do that. I think I'm going to try to kill this Brave Brawler on this activation here.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible I was supposed to do it on my turn, but yeah, maybe I was supposed to do it on my turn.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just... Okay. Yeah, okay. Dang. That was good.
That was really good.
Yeah, because we needed to kill that thing. Take up the shield, and now they're drawing 2 cards. Yeah, they're just drawing so many more cards than us. We're getting buried.
Yeah.
A Vision Quest would be really nice.
They're also at 30
Fortunately,
life.
yeah, yeah, because this life gainer. Okay, that's pretty good at least. Though, unfortunately, we have like multiple good targets for it.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of need to kill this Brave Brawler, but at the same time, the stature is just going to get huge because they can. It's like unblockable when it's small, and then they can power it up for 7x equals 5, so they can make it a 6/6. So like they do have to pump all their mana into that at least. The double Shuri has also been hurting us. We're kind of like down on cards in that too.
Right.
Like maybe we just kill the Brawler right now. Yeah, I think we have to kill the Brawler. At least they have to pour mana into the other one, right? And I think I'm not going to gain the life, I think, because we can potentially leave Shuri back to like eat the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the super suit or something.
Yeah.
Or if they like accidentally equip Stature with the Shield Spy Kit, I could block it.
Yeah, I feel like from here they need to just like only draw lands for a long time.
Well,
like
yeah, or have like very low impact creatures, right? Because that's the other thing that can happen in Limited is like if they just have a bunch of dorks, then and we draw Vision Quest, then like we kind of invalidate a lot of their cards just by ours being better.
Right.
But if they have like 2 or 3 removal spells in their hand right now, we're kind of in trouble no matter what we do. Yeah, because I don't know about Web Up. I don't know what we have to. Oh, actually, we have Justice Vance, which could bounce it, but then they can just recast it.
Right.
So that doesn't really help us very much.
Yeah, we'd much prefer the Vision to be in the graveyard, ironically.
Of course, yeah, we would 100% prefer that. Yeah. Yeah, that actually would be another way that we would win, right? Is like if this was in the graveyard, Vision questing, casting Super Suit, double striking off of a giant Vision, you know, sort of surprising them for death out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying to figure out what they need to do. I think the size, the stature is an interesting choice because I guess like if they just pour all their mana into stature this turn, like if they just attack with everything, I eat the Agents of Shield with the Super Suit. They pump all their mana into stature. I get a removal spell for stature. Then we're like still behind, but not like out. But if they just play like 2 or 3 more creatures, we're having a hard time with that for sure.
Right.
This is the other thing about Arena. Sometimes you just sit here waiting. maybe they also have a teammate on that they're discussing complex play lines with. And maybe they're playing around our we say the nay.
Trust me, it's
that we
way
don't have.
worse on MTGO because that's on chess clock format. So like the roping in Arena is like we've had comparatively so little time to talk through lines and make draft picks and stuff. Something
I guess
really must have happened over there.
That's actually another way that we win is our opponent times out.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? We take those. We don't not take those, but I think we were pretty far behind in that game.
I was like pretty certain we were gonna lose.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident about that as well.
Like you said, like I have a different mentality when I look at games a lot of the time. You're entirely right that they could have drawn non-impactful creatures that card advantage gets invalidated by something with better stats, you know, until they can like go wide enough to just get game-winning damage around a blunder, I guess.
100%, and I think that is like one of my favorite ways to get quote-unquote card advantage in limited is just to play creatures that invalidate like 2 or 3 of their creatures, right? Like a big. That's why one of the reasons I like green is you play like some big fatty in green that like nothing of theirs can attack into, and you're just very happy with that. And that's one of the reasons. I think that's actually one of the big differences between like really good limited players and like people who are emergent or learning is when you fill your deck with, there are definitely decks where you are happy playing less impactful creatures. Dude, I thought I played a swamp. I thought I played a swamp right there.
Hopefully it doesn't matter this turn.
So my read on this is that they probably just also have a counter spell.
Yeah.
But I don't want to not do anything.
So
right?
Yeah, I guess Iron Lad would be the highest upside because we probably want to wait for there to be a target for Justice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably gonna counter this. But if they don't, nice. Do they have Widow's Bite? Some other way to remove it?
Looks like we got a Cruel Alliance coming up.
Okay, they did have Widow's Bite. Maybe they still... Okay, well, I actually am pretty happy to bounce. Even though they get the Connive trigger again, for tempo purposes, it feels like bouncing that still feels pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Because then they're just incentivized to replay it again, which uses their whole turn. Yeah. And then we can remove it if we need to. If they just use like
the selection is so much less harmful than if that was like actually drawing a card when it enters.
Right. Yeah, or if it was like honestly, we're just leaving on the board and having an attack. But Hydra Infiltration, interesting.
Whoa.
I think I'm just gonna tuck 2 lands.
That would be my inclination to keep the action.
Keep the action. All right, I'm gonna attack, and then I'm gonna play Swordsman, and I'm gonna leave up Start Tech.
Yeah, we're
jumping the lands makes Vision Quest is bad for Vision Quest is a bad draw at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we are ahead on board. What I actually hope that they do is, well, if they dump a land here, I'm definitely attacking with the Swordsman and just hoping to. Okay, they didn't. I think we're just gonna exile it then. Wow, that's crazy that they discarded this Spider Woman. That's not good for us.
So their hand must be really good. If
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Card.
Right. All right. I'm just gonna try to keep the pressure on, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but I have to teamwork this.
Do we have to?
Because I can't. Yeah, because it's 3 or it's CMC 3 or greater.
Oh yeah. Mm.
But I still think that's probably right over playing out the vision, because if I just play out the vision, their 4/4 is so much bigger than ours. I don't know. If they just have removal, like I kind of want to put them in a position where they have to remove my small stuff so that I can play vision safely. Is kind of how I'm feeling. Like I don't think that's. It seems very likely that if they discarded a Spider Woman, they have actual removal cards in their hand. And I would like to not have the vision removed. I'd like to make them spend like a 4-mana removal spell on one of my 2/2s.
Yeah, is there any world in which we like that's funny. Wait until we have 6 mana to cast the vision so we can also hold up the Stark tech?
I think there's definitely a world where that happens.
Does that have
okay, so this thing has ward, discard a card, or pay 2. We've had to discard a lot of cards this game.
Yeah.
But we could discard. I don't want to discard the. We could discard the vision so we get back with the vision quest. I think we probably just discard vision quest here.
Yeah, there's no guarantee we'll be able to cast that. I think it's responsible.
Yeah. And also, even if we do draw like a red source, we're still not at enough. We don't have enough mana because they ate our lands.
Right.
With the Hydra Infiltration, so we're not getting anything big yet. We kind of need to hit like exactly red source and then another land, and like this is great for us, right? That we can just keep this pressure on with these 2/2s.
If they're not spending their mana to fight the board, we're in a good shape, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that we are going to have to play the vision out here.
I agree.
Because we just need to keep the pressure on. But the thing is, like, even if they killed the vision, we still are getting in for 2. And they've been using their removal on our other stuff. Like we made them use a good removal spell on a 2/2 that got us tempo, which is fantastic. This is probably going to die right now, though. Hopefully they wait till our turn, actually, to try to see if there's like they can get some juice out of it.
Oh yeah, that'd be insane.
They have just like the 4-mana destroy target creature. I would love that for us. Oh yes.
Wow. And another Stark tech. That's insane.
Yeah, we're starked up. Okay, so there's Spider Woman.
That's actually.
So they had another one. That's why they discarded 1. Okay, so what we can do here, though, is I can still attack with the Swordsman, and I can double Stark Tech, which I can draw a card off of one of them. Okay, so they're just not going to block. That's fine.
Still feels like we're ahead. Like the vision will still trigger and draw us cards.
Yep, exactly. Oh, and now they're going to Frozen and Ice it. I actually think I play out one of the Stark Techs now.
Yeah, cycle it.
Just to cycle it, and I get to get the Surveil trigger on the Swordsman when it attacks.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Okay, so because now it loses all abilities, but they really can't. I mean, now they could try to destroy the Swordsman. They might have another exile removal. They can all of a sudden block the Spider Woman though, but they also can't kill it, so I get the Surveil trigger, which I think is worth it.
Yeah.
And I probably want to get the Surveil trigger before I do Herbie. And I don't know that I care about playing out. Oh, it connives. It's a connive trigger, so I can just like discard Iron Man and make it a 4/3, and then they can't block it.
Yeah.
I forgot it was a connive trigger. I thought it was Surveil. That's so much better. And Vision Quest still gets that back. Oh man, that's awesome. I forgot, dude. That's why I forgot this was connive. This card is so much better than I thought it was. That's fantastic. Okay. I don't think it makes any sense to play lands first because I can't pay the 2 for a counter if they have one.
Right. All right, we're ready to draw that Vision Quest.
We really are.
Having this flying attacker is probably pretty threatening.
Yep. They're in a tough spot here.
Does Spider Woman have reach?
No.
Oh, that's weird. Usually spiders have reach.
I was gonna say, it feels like all of these spiders should have reach.
Historically, they have.
So I think that we have lethal here.
Yeah. Whatever one's not blocked, you could flash in the Stark tech.
Yeah, though that also puts me at risk of getting blown out.
Yes.
Right? But I guess that actually they have to kill the Herbie if I discard a non-land. Also, they can't kill it though. Like, so I think I like this. Maybe I should have actually. Oh, the giant ant. Nice.
That card seems pretty.
Yeah, I think it's a good card.
That's crazy that they're gonna give us this connive trigger though.
I don't get a connive because it's not equipped.
Oh right, yeah.
But I think I'm pretty happy to trade the giant ant for another Stark Tech.
Yeah.
If they block with it, they're probably just that makes sense. They're just gonna do that though. Okay. I think I actually like equipping this back to the ground creature now, and maybe there was a world where maybe that was actually something I was supposed to do ahead of time, because then it was a 4/4 and a flyer, and they had to take some of it. I guess like we wanted it to be 3 and 3 so that we could use the Stark Tech if we to try to get lethal, right?
I thought they cast the ants at the beginning of combat.
They did,
okay.
And it tapped down the creature we had equipped.
I think they probably were gonna. Well, I don't know actually. That's a hard one.
I think it actually would have been right to put the 4/3 here, so they didn't have the option of a chump block.
Right.
Like, assuming that they had mana up to do something, we kind of want to force them to do something, and I think that we could pretty safely assume we're not going to be able to get lethal that turn.
Right.
Do we want that on top? I think we're okay with that on top. Like, I think we're okay drawing it because the Herbie's just going to connive.
Right.
I think we're okay with that. Like, it seems decent enough. Helps us filter some of our lands away.
Yeah, as long as it's like an above average draw, I wouldn't put it on bottom. That life gains.
They've got a long way to go if they're going to try to race us here. Oh, wow. And Shuri's so good, too, because it turns the Stark Techs into...
Visions?
Like, Herbie. Oh, yeah, Visions, yeah. Yeah, because even though it's tapped down, we can still do it. I think I'm going to put the Stark Tech on the Herbie, and then attack, and then use the other Stark Tech.
And this is just what we wanted to do last turn.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't have removal for this. And one of the reasons not to play Shuri out first is that it like we can pay 4 for the counter if they had the counter. And then I'm just going to play Shuri. I'm not going to play the land because I want to be able to pitch it to the connive trigger next turn. Yeah, I think turning the shield deployment drones into Vision is pretty dope.
Should be pretty good.
Though actually, I'm not sure that we can't trigger it unless we get something good off the connive. So
that's true.
Well, they do gain life. Okay.
So if we attack with Herbie. Oh, that's only as a sorcery though, so we'd have to turn Herbie into a Vision pre-combat.
No, we can turn the Stark Tech into Vision pre-combat. So target artifact we control, this one, becomes a copy of Vision pre-combat.
Is that to like draw their removal away?
No, it just gives us a good attacker, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. For some reason I thought it'd be summoning sick.
No, because the Stark Tech's already been out, and so now if we draw, I don't know that. So, oh yeah, we can't. We don't have the option anyway. I was gonna say we could choose about discarding a non-land to try to go for lethal here, but that wasn't an option available to us, unfortunately. And now I think we actually just want to spread out the damage as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because Herbie gets in for lethal on its own.
Feels pretty ahead. They can draw some here.
Yeah. They could have a couple of removal spells, right? Okay, so this becomes Vision. That's pretty good. They're gonna draw a card maybe? Yeah. That's pretty good.
Really good.
Sure he dies. Vision Quest would be a good draw for us. All of a sudden I'm feeling not so ahead still.
Yeah, they have to answer Herbie.
Well, no, because I think the Taskmaster stays as a 2/5 through
does it? No, geez.
their next turn.
That's pretty good.
But we have a lot of outs. We have a lot of removal spells. We have a lot of we have Vision Quests. We have a lot of things that win us the game on the spot here.
We get 2 connives if we equip the other Stark Tech to Herbie, right?
No. Whenever another villain you control, whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, it connives. So we could get, if we attack with 2 creatures, we could get the double connive. But we don't get 2 connives if we just equip Herbie twice.
Oh yeah, were you not going to attack with Swordsman?
I don't know that this is a good attack for us because we're attacking. We don't like. We'd have to trust that we're drawing something good off of the connive.
Yeah, you'd have to high roll the removal spell,
which feels
I guess
risky
we could
to
just
me.
play Scientist and pass.
Yeah, and then they're gonna get like, and we just need to hit something next turn. Is kind of what it feels like. We could also, no, I don't. We don't have enough power, unfortunately, since they have they have 2/5s.
How likely is it that we'd hit a removal spell? Have we seen how many cards are in our deck?
We have 16 cards in deck. 2 of them are Cruel Alliance. Ronin would count as a Widow's Bite. Dark Deed. Dark Deed would. We have a good chance. I think that we actually just hold back here, because next turn we also just have another attacker, and so like they're at 2. You know, we just kind of need to like draw a removal spell and get them down.
Yes.
But they are in a position where they're going to draw a lot more cards than us. Like, I have to imagine that they have actual cards in their hand, and that, yeah, and they got the trigger off of, or they got the connive off of that. So they're definitely ahead. We have outs, but they're closing the door.
Yeah, Scientist can also double a connive, right? Because that's an activate or a triggered ability. Often
it connives.
Herbie.
Yeah, I think that would double a connive trigger. So actually, that might be worth, but then we would have to discard like an actual spell twice to get counters to make it able to attack through the 2/5.
Yeah.
They're rounding the corner here, big time.
I'm just wondering at which point does it become mathematically sound if you're conniving like 3 times? At what point are the odds in your favor to hit a removal spell for Taskmaster?
Well, the problem is that it have to be removal spell at instant speed, because then if we eat our own creature, even if we draw a removal spell, that's still bad for us, right?
Yeah.
Drawing more lands, flooding out here, not helping. I kind of almost want to like double equip to the Scientist Supreme, well, because I don't really want to throw away our flyer. But we only connive 1 time though, and there's a good chance we just hit another land. And if we don't hit a land, man, this is tricky. I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah, it's a risk either way.
Yeah.
Are we betting on the cards they draw not being very good?
Right, and they have way more card selection than we do because of the Villainous Hideout. Yeah. And actually, that's probably something that's different in Constructed versus Limited. These sorts of cards do so much work because so many Limited games just come down to who is like top decking a land for 1 or 2 turns versus who's not. And so having ways to make sure that you're not top decking lands so that you can filter is huge.
It sadly happens in Constructed more often than not as well. If you're like, a lot of time there's like blue control mirrors, and often whoever floods will lose.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, they're going to draw. They're basically just trying to get rid of my connive ability, I think.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, if they don't have a counter, oh my gosh.
So I guess we would have missed on the connive. That's 3 cards.
Yeah. And that would have been terrible for us, right?
Yeah.
Because we would have been in a position where we, where we would have like gotten our blocker eaten, or our attacker eaten. Okay, well, that's Magic, baby.
It is.
Man, I'm really glad that we could provide this vision for them to just totally pop off with. All right, so what we need is, what do we need? We need the
quest, right?
Vision Quest to get Iron Man, and then draw. We need to draw a removal spell off of the Iron Man while it enters in, and we attack, and then we still lose because they're at 8 life now because of this Hydra infiltration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this one's feeling pretty over.
Although Herbie could also get some extra damage there, being a flyer.
Okay, well, we're definitely dead next turn if we're not dead now, because they have this guy to sacrifice their stuff to draw cards. And it's going to gain life when it attacks. Yeah.
So we got to hit Vision Quest, which we have.
Yeah, and even then, because did we ditch one? Oh, we ditched one.
Yeah.
We were stuck on blue black. Maybe that was a bad choice.
Could have been, because we didn't aggro them out.
Well, we'll just give them the good game, and we get to be a little bit salty, and just say, lands. Am I right? And I can see.
Yeah, were ahead for a lot of that.
Man, that game was, we were so close to winning that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe pitching Vision Quest was the wrong one. We can see here and look. I think that we got really insanely unlucky there with the amount of lands in a row that we drew.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
It feels like there were a couple of turns where anything that wasn't a land we win with, right? We played the Vision Quest. We played the I think everything in the beginning seems good. Like we bounced their guy. We played out the Iron Man that they killed. We pitched the 2 lands. We were able to just keep the pressure on. And I guess this is one choice where we were like, do we play Vision out or do we just remove their 4/4?
Right.
I think I still like the play that we chose. I think I just like, because yeah, we just like we
bad to get it countered.
Well, and we knew that they couldn't counter it here because they only had 1 blue mana up this turn, right? So we could have played
to get removed.
Right. Yeah. Like if we had just played out the Vision, attacked for 2, and then they play removal spell on the Vision, attacking with their 4/4. Now we're on the back foot, right? Versus if we use this line and we just remove their creature, now they have to stabilize again, and we were able to remove their creature again. Though actually, this is a choice where maybe here we were supposed to, because we missed the land again. I guess we went and removed their creature again, and we had to discard the Vision Quest to do it. I think I still kind of like it because we're still just putting pressure on them with our little guys, and we were pretty far from casting Vision Quest. So I still think I like that. And they did have to use Cruel Alliance on our 2/2, right? Which is like they probably had that the whole time. They probably would have just exiled the Vision, which is what we thought was going to happen.
Right.
We do play the Vision. They tap it down with Spider Woman. We attack in. They don't block. Then they frozen and ice it. We draw a card. We connive. Yep, attacks are feeling good. I think there was the one turn where we didn't equip the Stark Tech to the Scoundrel, and maybe that was wrong because we basically were presenting lethal with I think that actually was wrong because they were basically at a situation where they were at 4 life, but they were untapped. And so I was never playing Stark Tech into untapped mana anyway, because they would just blow me out. Right.
Right.
So if that's the case, then maybe what I should have done was moved the Stark Tech over to the Swordsman so that he could attack through the Spider Woman and they didn't have a good block. Right.
Yeah, because they just bounced off each other, I think.
Yep. And then I couldn't attack. And if they had tapped down the Swordsman, I can still attack with Herbie. They block with the Ant. I blow them out with the Ant that turn, or blow them out with the Stark Tech that turn.
Right.
So I actually think that turned out to be pretty consequential, right? Because then they were able to recover from there. Because they didn't take 3 damage that turn and they didn't have to trade off one of their creatures, they were just able to stabilize.
Yeah.
So kind of funny how that one decision actually, I think, turned out to be pretty consequential, which was...
It can seem like a more innocuous turn, but it tips the balance.
Yeah. Not equipping the Stark Tech back to the Swordsman before combat. And I actually don't even know if I have a decision type for this because it's so niche.
Yeah, you could consider it kind of mana usage, but I don't know. It's not descriptive enough.
I feel like it's maybe more about actually. I think the biggest that line I did I briefly considered, but then I let it get overrun by the idea of possibly going for lethal with the Stark Tech, right? Yes. And I think that what I actually needed to do there was play around removal or tricks, and I didn't, right? I think that's actually the fundamental thing was that I was if I had thought about that, we're gonna actually need to play around, we're not gonna use this because we'll get blown out. The best attack is the one with the Swordsman having enough power to attack through the 1/4.
Right.
So I think flagging it like that is okay, especially because it's a little. I don't know if the other option would just be choosing which creature has equipment, which maybe is something I'll consider. After this, I'll think about that more. But that definitely was worse. And then after that, I think we just drew lands for 1,000 turns. I don't think there was any decisions we made there that were too consequential from that point on. We just got out attritioned. So when I'm flagging that, the variance failure mode, we got flooded big time. That definitely happened. We couldn't answer a threat we didn't have removal for their thing that was copying our vision, and we got out attritioned. Those are the three ways that sort of resulted for us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We made a good bid for tempoing them out with two power creatures. We really did a good job removing their blockers for a while.
Yeah. I actually think it's kind of funny because I feel like the enemy of blue black control is kind of just like a nobody creature that you don't really want to have to remove.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Like it's like, oh yeah, what's the worst thing you could face down? Like a small thing that's going to kill you eventually that you have to use premium removal on is just like the worst. Here, checking in. How are you feeling on time? We're at 2. We have a little ways to go, and I'm happy to keep hanging out and playing. But I don't know how long you want your stream to be or your video to be.
I got time for one more.
Okay, cool. You mind if I take a break real quick? I'll be right back.
Not at all.
All right, just give me 1 second. Grab some water. All right, you there?
Yes, yeah. I just got back myself.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right, so let's do one more.
All
let's
right.
see if we can keep the streak alive, and I'll post in the the comments of your video with how it ended up, and I'll drop the 17 lands link there, so if anyone wants to see the rest of it, they can. But hopefully we're leaving everyone in suspense, about how the rest of the run ends, and not sad that it's over.
There's a lot at stake.
Oh my gosh, there's so much at stake. Yeah. This is the format's about to be over. I think that's the other thing is that the format's about to change. So people have not, I think people are ready for the Hobbit to come, the next one. And I appreciate that we've been talking about doing this for a little while. It was nice to get things together a little bit and get a little bit settled on my channel before we, so that if people wanted to check out some of the stuff, we actually had something to point them to.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, here's this random guy that doesn't have any content yet, but he might in the future.
Yeah, I think people will be extremely interested in the spreadsheet, just because that's been something that this channel is people have wanted out of this channel for a while. So yeah, check out TheLimitedLab. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
This hand is probably a mulligan, right? Or
I think so, because like if we don't draw a blue source very fast, it's pretty bad, right? Like we kind of need to hit blue on 2, because otherwise we're kind of forced to use this Cruel Alliance on whatever they play, even if we don't want to, which is not really where I want to be. So I think I am going to mulligan that, and then I like this one a lot better.
Yep.
Because we can plan on Kree Sentinel on 2, which makes me want to tuck the Swordsman, I think.
Yeah.
All right. I'm really hoping that Shuri just lands, and then if we're up against green, like if they're not playing black, I'm kind of interested in just slamming the vision next turn. Oh well, white has a lot of exile removal too. Hopefully we get a land and we can just play, maybe lead with Herbie.
Yeah.
Because they still kind of have to deal with it. It's a flyer in the air.
Is that one of those that becomes a creature or no?
It lets you lets you put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield.
Oh wow.
They did 1 top, 1 bottom. Okay, so unfortunately we did not hit a land for turn. So we're gonna have to land cycle this Kree Sentinel.
Right.
Which I still think it was better to get. Okay, I'm gonna grab a swamp. Let me just double check. Island, mountain, swamp. Okay. Maybe I need to get different lands, man. This might be the worst thing I'm doing for myself. But I think that was still better than land cycling on 2, because Shuri gave us a pretty decent chance of playing Herbie on 3.
I agree.
Even if it didn't happen the way that we wanted it to. Okay.
Cruel Alliance. Are we gonna develop our board here, you think?
It's a good question. Yeah, I kind of want to.
I'm actually not familiar with Colleen. Is it a card that generates card advantage?
No, but it makes their stuff bigger when they cast things on themselves. And actually, notably, this actually is probably the most important thing here, is that this is going to put a +1/+1 counter on stuff next turn. And this creature buffs other creatures based on its power. So they have potentially a very big attack, very tempo positive attack next turn, where this becomes a 2/3 and this will become a 5, attacking in for like 7.
Right.
If we play the vision out, I actually maybe we play the vision out here just to have a blocker. I think we either play the vision or we remove their stuff, right? I think those are kind of the two options because Herbie doesn't block well enough to keep tempo down.
We don't want the thing we want to remove to outscale Dark Deed, so yeah, I'll just leave that to you.
Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna kill. You know what? I'm gonna play Vision.
I like it.
I'm gonna play the Vision. It can because I want if they don't have removal for it this turn, it can block sort of here, and then I can get value out of the removal. Okay, Storm is fine. It's a great card. Creatures with flying can't attack you or block creatures you control. Whenever you cast a spell that targets one of our creatures, the creatures gain flying. So, very good card, but it dies to my removal, which is the important part.
Right.
Yikes.
Non-creature spells generate card advantage. I think we set ourselves up for success if we can survive this. If we can use our left tool as a resource.
Yeah. Well, we're getting stuck on mana. I think what I want to do is Dark Deed the Storm right now.
Draw a card.
To draw a card.
Land.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what I want to do.
Dang it. Good card, though.
Well, yeah, it's a good card. We need to just not die here, which means I might need to chump with Shuri. I don't really want to do that because I'm kind of dependent on her to cast Herbie and stuff, but there's a good chance I'm just playing Cruel Alliance for 2 turns in a row.
Right.
So, because I think that's the way that we win here is we just remove their threats, right? And they should be scared of a depower.
They should.
Because if I play depower, that shrinks their creature and gives my thing double strike.
Right.
So they should be scared of a depower here.
Is going to 8 acceptable? Or I guess it would be 6. That's pretty low.
I don't think we need to, is the thing. I think that I would rather trade Shuri for 5 life here. Because I think I win if we survive.
Great.
Okay, so we're gonna attack for turn, then use Cruel Alliance to exile their War Machine, I think, and then draw a card off the Vision, is I think what we're gonna do.
Nice.
Does that sound reasonable to you?
Yeah. I don't know what Doc Samson does, but if it's
it doubles +1/+1 counters, so it requires something to be good.
Okay.
As where this is just buffing their stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna gain life here. So I think I'm gonna exile that one. Try to draw a card. Draw a tap land would be great. Okay, I'll take a non-tap land.
We were definitely due for that.
Yeah. And if we draw another land next turn, we might be able to do Shuri plus Cruel Alliance number 2.
Oh yeah.
I think we just want to exile every creature they play for the rest of the game and hope they don't kill Vision in the meantime. Oh yikes! Is that Civil War, or is it Marvel? Captain Marvel. What are they doing the red for? Yeah, it's a Civil War. Okay. Awesome. Really good.
Jeez, that's true.
Well, are you familiar with this card?
No, but
Gain control of up to 2 target creatures. Then the next time creatures you control get +1/+1 in vigilance, and then you can have target creature fight another target creature, which means you can have your creature, my creature, get fought against their creature. So, okay, well, we also didn't draw another land because why would we do that? Which makes me wonder.
Blow out the fight in any way if we hold up Cruel Alliance, but I guess they could also.
The fight happens at instant speed. We don't have sorcery speed removal. I mean, instant speed removal on. This is all sorcery speed right now.
Okay, I did not.
Yeah, so I think that maybe is still correct here, just to exile their stuff. Mm-hmm. We could also just play the Herbie to draw a card and try to get to 5 and block.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah, just trade Herbie for a card. I guess I couldn't remember if I played a land that turn, so I guess we didn't draw. Actually, we knew that we didn't draw land, so I should have just played it normally.
Yeah, what are we bluffing?
But yeah, not much. Yeah, this is pretty rough.
Oh, do they just control the Vision even after that goes away? Okay, cool.
Which actually maybe was a reason not to play Herbie, because now I can't block with this, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not dead on board. I guess Herbie, actually, I thought that we were one turn off from the final ability. That was a mistake on my part, because playing Herbie didn't make any sense there, because they could just fight it.
Right.
I should have just removed one of their creatures. So that was my error. I was thinking that we had one more turn where they had before the fight happened. Okay, super suit we like. We're not. How out of this are we?
If we spike a land, we can double Cruel Alliance.
Like if I cast Cruel Alliance now, exiling something.
We wouldn't be able to gain 3 life twice. But we probably maybe even want to block with the vision.
I was gonna say, if I gain 3 life, we can't block. There's I maybe do this once without gaining the 3 life. Yeah, let's try that first. Try to draw a land. Okay. Go to combat. Attack with the vision.
I guess we're still dead on board though, even if we gain 3 life.
I think that is right. So maybe we just need them to be scared.
Yeah.
Play scared.
So we can't get 2 blockers out either.
Yeah, I think that was actually a game-losing decision to play out Herbie instead of just removing one of their attackers. Because that was just dumb. There was no benefit of me doing that because I don't get to chump with it. Because they could just fight my creature against my creature, kill the Herbie, and then attack with everything. If I had just removed even like their Colleen, they get in for less damage that turn. I get vision back, and actually I think we're still in this. So unless they don't attack here because they're scared, which I don't know what they would be scared of realistically, besides just like general fear.
There's not too much of a risk for them to full send here, unfortunately. But we do have 3 mana up.
That's right. Yeah, so I think that was the playing there. Yeah, that was definitely that was a big punt in that category. Yeah.
How did they get to chapter 2 on the first turn it resolved?
The first turn, the first turn they took the vision. The second turn their stuff got pumped, right? Oh wait, no. Okay, actually that makes sense. Thank you for calling that out. I was
confused.
Okay, so that actually, I was like, why? Okay, so I'm not crazy. I thought I just missed something. They had Doc Samson, which puts an additional counter on things.
Oh.
So it made chapters 1 and 2 happen at the same time, which I missed because I didn't notice it. And then I played out Herbie to block, which did not matter because it was already moved to chapter 3. So that actually was not an error on my part in the sense of like I counted wrong. It was just like I forgot that I didn't notice that this happened.
That's crazy. Sagas are crazy.
Okay. Yeah, and that one especially. That one's a crazy bomb. So, well, let's log that last game because actually I think that there were some interesting choices there.
Absolutely.
Like some real juicy ones. I would say like at the high level, how we got run over was we just got tempoed out.
Oh,
right, like they just ran us over. They did damage before we could stabilize and take advantage of our cards. They're also, I'm gonna say that there was a little bit of like an execution error there, and that I didn't notice that we were on the wrong chapter. Which I think, because yeah, like if I had realized that we weren't gonna be able to block, that was just like very obviously the wrong choice to play Herbie out. But I thought we had another turn, actually, which I forgot to add here. We also did get direct damaged here on this other game, the one where they lightning striked us. So just a quick correction there. And then variance, were we stuck on lands this game?
We missed a land drop when it would have been nice, but I think overall we didn't have too many.
Yeah, it was more of like well, we didn't hit a land there again, and then we didn't hit a land there again. So we missed lands like 3 turns in a row, 4 turns in a row. Yeah, I think that that definitely, I think that counts as land screw. And we also missed a key land drop, which was that third one, right? Which will let us play out instead of having to take our turn off.
Right.
But what were the big? So what? But that's Magic, right? And that's limited. So like we're logging that. I just want to like so as a reminder for everyone that's watching, like we're logging that not because we're saying like, oh well, we should have, like, we just lost the game because the variance sucks, right? Like that's not why we're logging it. We're logging it so that whenever we're looking back at it, we can see, are there ways that we're building our decks that like we're contributing to variance, right? Because I think that game was winnable if we had made different decisions. So that's why I really want to go back and look at the decisions that we're making. The first choice that we made here was playing out the vision, developing our board versus just using removal on one of their guys. Looking back at it, I think that maybe that was the wrong choice.
Even though there was like virtual life gain involved of being able to block.
Well, we couldn't block this turn because they played Storm, which we didn't know they were going to do. I guess like the thing that we were stuck on lands, which made me want to get vision out there.
Right.
But I think the thing that, like, if I'm thinking about this game and I'm at this position and I have the option to play vision and I have the option to kill one of their things, if I'm thinking about how I lose this game, the way I lose this game is getting run over, right? Which likely plays for them next turn involve either them playing a big creature or them just having removal, like a web up, right?
Yeah.
And if I play vision and then they have a web up, this game's probably over for me. I think we actually got kind of lucky that they didn't have removal and that they just played a big creature, because at least then I was able to use removal to kill their creature and get some value out of it. But like if they had just played a web up there, this game's probably over for me. And so I think that actually making that choice to play the vision out opened me up to a very reasonable loss case, right? Where it's very reasonable that they just play web up or have any removal spell for vision, like Murdoch's Crusade would have worked too, and then they can just run me over and I'm just really in trouble. Versus if I just remove the thing that's making their stuff bigger here, they get in, like their momentum is deflated, right? Their momentum is worked back down, and then I can play out vision later, get value out of it later, win the long game with card advantage. Because yeah, like if I had, instead of playing the vision, if I had just removed this, then they're just getting in for 3 here. They play Storm. I use removal on Storm. They're just getting for 3 again, and now I can drop, like when I finally hit, then I can drop some of my. Actually, I have another removal spell that I could use on the Colleen. Like I'm just eating their creatures. They never can get enough damage through to kill me, and then eventually I can stabilize with my big threats. Is kind of, I think, the most likely way that I win this game.
I see it.
Does that seem reasonable to you, or do you think I'm off on that?
No, I think that's right. Then they would have had the same pressure to, or do you think they would have played Civil War if we didn't have a creature to take control of?
Right, they might not have, right? They might have actually just, it was pretty good for them because they got to do it on curve.
Yeah. Right,
and just like slams face. But it would have been a lot worse for them if they hadn't had a creature to take advantage also, right?
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, I think I like that. I think the decision to play vision versus remove their threats.
That's almost an identical pivotal decision to the second game, I think, or the third one against Baron. We played a vision over removing Baron.
Right. But I think that the context is different there, right?
Very.
And that actually, I think, I just did I just was talking about this in the video recorded that's going to drop on Monday, but I think that's one of my favorite things about Magic is the literal exact same choice. Like, play vision, use removal spell. Which of those 2 things are we going to do? Whether that's right or wrong changes drastically depending on the context that you're in, right? And so in this context with the Baron, we were at a full life total. They didn't have good attackers, right? They just had like a 1/1, I think. And so they weren't pressuring me at all. And they were also playing black-blue. And so like the way that we lost that game was not pushing them enough, like not presenting pressure that they had to respond to and just giving them infinite time to draw cards or whatever. And versus here, their game plan was to get us dead, and us playing vision played right into a very reasonable way they could get us dead. And we got killed by a much more niche way to get us dead, but it played out kind of the same way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was the big one there for sure. And I think it was wrong, but awesome. Okay. Well, hey, we just learned, we just captured some good points. And actually, I think that this is one of my favorite things about this is, even though we lost, right? This game that we just played, or this match, I liked this deck. I actually thought this deck was pretty good.
I thought so too, yeah.
Yeah, like and it's Grixis, which is, I'm sorry to lose with Grixis on your channel. That really is not.
Happens a lot on this channel.
Okay. But this is my favorite thing about this approach is that if your goal is to learn as much as possible from every game that you play, then like every game is valuable and every game is data. And even when I'm super tilted because I lost in a specific way, there's something to be learned that kind of like, you're just so much better the next time,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I noticed there was Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
There was a an option on the spreadsheet for non-game, and I'm wondering how
Yeah.
often that happens in a limited.
I actually am really glad that you brought that up because um, I think if you asked people how often this comes up in limited, they would tell you that, oh, it happens all the time. Like I get non-games all the time because of variance and because I didn't get my lands and whatever, and it sucks. I actually, since adding this, I added it because I think I added it in the middle of Secrets of Strixhaven. I've only logged it like 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
And I think that's actually one of that actually, to be fair, that has gotten better as I've started making better mulligan decisions, right? I think non-games are directly tied to how good your mulligan decisions are.
Sure.
But I think that one of the things that stands out when I was digging into the like cognitive science of getting better at Magic, like I've really been trying to dig into the research and look at like how do we make decisions and how do we learn in these really complex environments where there isn't like a defined outcome and there's so much variance and like there's so much like messy signals and all this stuff. One of the biggest things that came up was that people have very bad memories in general, especially when it comes to stuff like this. And if you ask people, how are you losing? They're going to remember the things that had the highest emotional value for them,
Yes.
not necessarily the things that happen the most. And so when you have a non-game because you didn't draw lands, like you get so mad and you get so filled with rage and you feel it so viscerally that it skews how often it's actually happened. And if we look at my data, like I have one non-game in the top 27 rows.
Wow.
Right. Actually happened. I'm looking at all of MSH. Of all the games I logged in MSH, we only had one actual non-game.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and if you would ask me how many non-games actually happened, I think I probably would have told you, like just off my memory. I'd be like, like probably like a dozen.
Yeah.
You know?
There's something visceral about losing, and to stuff like, oh, I flooded or whatever, where
Yeah.
using this chart you can actually see there are things that are very much in your control.
Right. Yeah. And I love that, and that's why I think it was so helpful for me, right? And I think when I was in Avatars, when I did this, and I was just banging my head against the wall because I kept losing. I was like, why am I losing? Why is my win rate stuck at like 55%? Like it just won't move. And so then I logged it, and it was crazy. It happened instantly. Where after I logged like 20 or 30 games and started applying the things I learned, my win rate up to like 70%. And it happens every format. It happens every format for me where I'm like, okay, like I'm doing well. I dip, I hit a wall, and then I learn a bunch from the games that I play, and then my win rate shoots right back up.
Wow.
So
I think this notebook is an incredible piece of technology. I can't recommend this channel enough to anyone who's interested in Limited or even Magic. Like, I've learned a lot today that I can apply to Constructed. I think there's a huge wealth of information here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Teddy. I've really it means a lot to me, as a small channel, trying to just pick up and grow and make sure that people can see the cool stuff that we're talking about, and trying to help people out I know so many Magic players, I'm sure non-limited people too, but I know a lot of limited players get so frustrated with why they're losing. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to showcase this to other folks and help them find it. And I'm really grateful to have this conversation and to be on the channel. It was really fun just hanging out. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really glad that this worked out. I was looking forward to it, and I was not disappointed. I was actually really blown away, because also I was incorrect in when the last time I drafted was. I did some Modern Horizons 3 just because people were rare drafting a lot when the set first came out on MTGO. And yeah, I think if I had entered that format after this exercise today, I would have had a much better time.
Yeah, well, that's the hope, right? None of us, we don't want to lose. We don't want to have to, we want to go infinite on Arena so that we don't have to keep paying Wizards money to play Magic. Yeah, or get competitive with it and try to top 8. That's my goal right now, is get to a place where I'm not losing games because I made the wrong choice here and I'm winning that game that was winnable, so that I can top 8. That's the goal too. So anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, really fun. Really appreciate it.
Attainable when you have technology like this.
Here's the hoping. Yeah. And we didn't talk about it, but I think that it's not zero work, it's like it's more fun to just jam as many games as possible. It's more fun to just play games after games after games after games. But you learn so much more this way, and so I can't recommend it enough too. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, Teddy. Really appreciate it.
I'll have links down to the Limited Lab in the description. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll see y'all soon.
All right. Bye-bye for now.